incredibly decided voter, Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. Just speaking of anything, get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Mario Adrion is our guest, comedian, young comedian, up and coming comedian. Good to see you.
Thank you very much. Good to see you, man.
From Germany, born in Germany?
Born and raised in Germany, in a small town called Alpirsbach im Hochschwarzwald.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how close is that? I guess I got to go to, I don't know, airports or Porsche factories.
Yeah, so Porsche is in Stuttgart. That's an hour from my hometown. Mm-hmm. And that's where all my friends work. All my friends are either engineers or techno DJs.
Really?
So they all work in Stuttgart for Porsche or Mercedes.
Yeah. What's a techno DJ? I mean, techno DJ, but
yeah,
but Mercedes and Porsche don't need you if you're a techno DJ, do you?
No, but that's the two career paths. Like
Germans,
really? We do engineering or we become hardcore German techno DJs, yeah?
So I'm trying to think. So for me, Porsche engineer as a guy who owns some racing Porsches.
Okay, yeah, you look like a guy that owns a Porsche.
A 935 and stuff like that. Is the height of a guy I'd want to sit next to on a long flight.
Oh.
But techno DJ, I'd rather sit next to like a pedophile priest on a long flight. God, so that'd be a real roll the dice for me in terms of like, if someone said, you're going to have to sit next to one of Mario's friends on a long flight from his village, I'd be like, hold on, I got more questions.
I think the techno DJ is more fun though. The stories they have, because you know we Germans, I think that's the thing in Germany. We either have we're very serious people, but then we were so suppressed because of all the guilt. So we also have this side of like,
is it
kinky Berlin techno clubs, right?
So is that akin to? So I have a theory.
Yeah,
there's like two types of Japanese. There's short haircut, suit, and a lot of like, hi, and real polite and whatever. Yeah. And then there's purple hair, slammed Acura.
1,000%.
Crazy. But there's no like middle of the roaders. Like, it's a Japanese guy with his Dockers. Just hanging out. He likes drinking Strohs. He likes some country music, but not really. Like, it's hard this way, or it's we're eating sushi off a naked chick.
1,000%. Or we have tentacle porn. Like that kind of shit. It's very Japanese.
Tentacle porn. Right. Or super straight laced, bowing, super.
Arigato.
Right. So Germans have some of that too, because anytime there's a real straight, hard engineering efficiency kind of pocket, there's the rebellious, fucked up pocket, right? So we have that. We call them Mormons.
Okay, got it.
We have that. When you go to Utah.
Never been. Want to go, honestly,
You go to Salt Lake City, you see hardcore Mormons and then chicks covered with tattoos and triple piercings.
In the same state you're saying.
Well, they used to be Mormons and they went, fuck you, stepdad. I'm going over. I'm doing the opposite of what you would want. So you grow up in the San Fernando Valley with a bunch of atheists like me and you just get... Nobody, nothing. No. There's no agenda. I didn't get. You got to get molested. You got to be abused. You got to have a society that's trying to push you down for you to pop out. You know. So Germans have that.
We have that, but I think on top of that is also guilt and repression. Because I don't know if you guys are history buffs, but we Germans, we lost a couple of wars. You know. Did a couple of things.
And
Same
you know,
Japanese people.
If you think about the couple of wars that you lost, you know. I don't want to get into it, but in too much detail. But you know, when you're a kid and you're studying history books and you're looking at World War I and you're looking at World War II, the span between the two seemed very great, mainly because of the technology. Like in World War I, they just rolled out the tank. Pretty much. And it didn't really work that well. It didn't look like much. And then you go to World War II and you got Messerschmitts and Stukas and you've got a huge, you got the Bismarck battleship and stuff like the Bismarck. Get wet.
Bismarck, you said that's so German.
It's a killer battleship. Look, the German they had good equipment.
It's true.
I'm a gearhead. I like the good stuff. I take the Panzer Division tank. I would take the German tanks over the American stuff. But the whole point is you think it's a giant chasm. it's 20 years.
Yeah.
It's barely 20 years.
Oh, it's crazy how quick. Yeah.
I mean, you got to look it up, Dawson, but I mean, World War I ended in like 21, 22.
18,
I don't think,
I think, yeah.
Was it in the teens when it
In
ended?
1918, I think it ended, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 1919, but I thought that's when it started, but we'll look it up.
1914 to
1918, November.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't
Well,
argue
it's
with
a
the
German
fucking
education
German about
system.
that.
I would not expect Americans
right.
to know anything.
No,
it's okay. Yeah.
November 1918.
Yeah.
Okay, so the end of 1918. But World War II is 39, 40 in there. So we're talking about 20 years.
Yeah.
So it'd be like saying America lost 2 huge wars, one in 2004 and then the other 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Like, that would seem like, that'd be pretty fucking devastating.
Yeah.
That's not that much
Yeah.
time to lose
No.
2 huge wars.
Yeah. I know. Thanks for rubbing it in. Congrats.
Listen, the
Congrats
Bismarck
to you
is a
Americans
thing.
for being back-to-back World War champs. I mean, you guys fucking crushed it.
I don't care what side of the equation you're
kind of
on. You got to appreciate the Bismarck.
You got to appreciate the Bismarck, yeah.
You know
But
the
no-
beauty of the Bismarck?
Oh, God, tell me about the beauty.
No, I shouldn't. We should
Imagine,
talk about it.
I, as a German came in this podcast, I was, let me tell you about the beauty of the Bismarck battleship. Yeah, it was beautifully destructive. You know?
The Bismarck sunk the Hood, which is a English battleship.
Okay.
It sunk the Hood.
Yes.
The Hood. Joe refreshed me the story, but the Hood had like 1,700 crewmen on it. 2 survived.
Oh, wow. Let them tell the tale.
I mean,
It's beautiful.
is that insane? You run around with 15,
Yeah.
1,700 people on your vessel, and then the thing blows up, and then floating in the water 2 minutes later, it's just you and a guy named
Yeah,
Russ.
imagine the two. One of the two dudes.
Just you and
what the
Russ. You
fuck?
probably didn't even like him.
Why me?
For me, be like the douchebag I didn't like from the kitchen.
Literally, yeah.
1,400 men went in, and 3. I was way up.
Okay.
3 dudes.
Way up, dude.
1,415 dudes go in, 3 pop up.
Yeah.
Is that fucking nuts?
That's crazy. Yeah.
The strongest swimmer survived.
Literally, yeah.
Man,
yeah.
what a
so,
nightmare.
so Germany not a hotbed of stand-up comedians.
No, we're not known for the ha-has. We're known for the ouchies. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to fight that stereotype, though. You know?
What is the scene like in Germany?
You know what's funny? I've never done stand-up in Germany. I started in Los Angeles. So I started like about 3-4 years ago. And people always ask me this, but I just got my green card, so I'm going to go back to Germany in a month from now to do stand-up there. So I'll see if they actually laugh. Because in my mind, they don't laugh. We Germans, we don't laugh because it's very energy inefficient to show emotions.
Not efficient.
No. So when you tell a German a joke, we understand the joke. We're like, oh, this is a funny joke, yeah. But instead of laughing, we suppress the energy and we use the energy to invade Poland. Yeah? That's how we do it.
Works.
So that's where and it worked. Yeah, exactly. So
I love Germans. I love German cars.
yeah. And battleships.
And
clearly.
battleship.
Yeah.
Well, the Bismarck met a horrible fate, but
Yeah.
anyway, it got blown up.
Yeah.
Not too long after it sunk the Hood,
Yeah.
and it got fucked up in a weird way.
I think that's what we Germans did, though. We have so much guilt, so we're like, we need to do something good for the world, so we make good cars. You know, that's why we're so nice now.
Right,
And we
but-
became gay too. Have you noticed that shit? We Germans like so gay now.
Kind of
Yeah.
It's a rebrand because Japanese people they became cute after the war. They were
Right.
like Pokemon, you know.
Right.
And we Germans we can't be cute because do you know Pikachu the Pokemon?
Yeah.
In German it's called Rumpelstilzchen.
Really?
Because we make everything fucking unbeautiful. So I
Yeah.
think that's why Germans were now a little bit gay and like so nice and respectful.
Yeah. The Germans, look, every culture that has the extremes goes the other way harder, like goes gayer, harder, goes everything harder. I think when a black guy goes gay, he goes hard in the gay page.
You're
yeah.
saying
Hard
they're
gay.
doing like 100-year shame ritual right now. That's what you're saying.
Well, here's
gay.
look. I love the Germans. I love their cars,
Yeah.
and I think there's a culture that you can ascribe to a car. Like you go, okay, what do the Germans do? I got a Porsche 935, which
Yeah.
you probably don't know, but it's a balls
I know
out.
the 911. That's like the main.
This is
yeah.
the 911's bigger, scarier
Oh, fuck
brother.
yeah. Hell
Okay,
yeah.
and it's just a badass balls out race car. But here's how efficient the Germans are. The car, it's a race car, had an aluminum roll cage. And when I bought the car to go race it a little bit, they said, "Well, you probably want to get rid of the aluminum roll cage because that doesn't do anything." You know. And I go, "Well, why do you have it?" And it's like, "Well, it doesn't weigh as much."
Yeah.
But I know, but it's here for protection. You know. They go, "Yeah, but they had to have a roll cage, but they didn't want an extra 3 pounds." So they went with the aluminum one, but that doesn't really work. So if you're going to race the car, you should put a chromoly one, a steel one in so you can use it. So we pulled the aluminum roll cage out.
Yeah.
At the front of the roll cage, after we pulled it out, I noticed there's like a nipple, a bib, an insert for a hose on the front, and then there's one in the back. And then I said, what's this? Why does a roll cage need this thing, like a hose bib?
Yeah.
A tube coming out of it, short 2-inch tube in the front and the back. And they said, well, the oil coolers are in the front and the engine's in the back, and they didn't want to run a separate hose to bring the oil to the back of the car, so they ran it through the roll cage.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, what did that fucking save you? And it's like 4 foot of hose.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
wow.
okay.
That is so, I'm so hard right now. That is so efficient. I love it. I love it.
Here's how, I was at the track 2 weeks ago looking at a 935 Porsche.
Yeah.
There's a little stub in the front where the windshield wiper motor thing sticks out. Just a 1/4-inch little thing that you put the wiper on.
Yeah.
There was a little sheet metal fin.
Yeah.
In a little triangle in front of it to get the air over it.
Yeah.
But it's literally like it'd be like half your pinky sticking out of the front of the hood. And these guys built aerodynamics to get around it.
Yeah.
Totally unnecessary, but totally efficient, totally German, right?
Yeah.
Then you go to Mexico. What do you got? Lowriders. We ain't going anywhere.
That is so true.
That's the whole culture is slow it down.
No, Mexican
crack
culture
a beer,
is inefficiency.
chillax.
Oh yeah, 1,000. It's so different because my I'm married now, but my ex-girlfriend, she's Colombian. So I was confronted. I live with her in Berlin, so I was confronted with the pure efficiency of us Germans, the punctuality, contrasted with her like Latin American inefficiency. So it's like very interesting how like the contrast between. I think the more sunny a place gets and the more comfortable, the more inefficient they get too.
Oh, there is no automobile manufactured anywhere near the equator.
Right. That's
You got to go to fucking Dearborn. You got to go to Stuttgart. You got to get away from the equator. If you get close to the equator, look it up. Nobody makes a car near the equator.
Yeah. It's also people work harder, more efficient. Like even in America, if you think about like, I'm sure people in Boston work so much harder than people in Florida. Like once you go more south, people get more. You know, even LA is much more chill and laid back than like New York.
You ever see what a dog does on a hot day?
Oh, for sure, exactly. Yeah,
like I'd come in, my dog be on its back,
1,000%,
with his paws spread eagle,
just not gonna build a car, dude.
Just airing those balls, not moving for nothing.
He's not.
That's what it does
efficiently. Yeah.
There is no automobile anywhere near the equator.
That's so
that
interesting.
Gets made. Now, once in a while. Ford may go to some cheap place, buy the equator, and go, "Hey, could you make us some grommets and shit for our trucks?" But they don't. Nobody near the equator does shit. Yeah. And then you have to think about it. You go, your girlfriend, the Latin whatevers. You go, okay, they're on. Like when you go to Jamaica, they're on Jamaican time.
Oh, sure.
over there. And then you go, okay, then there's Germany, like super efficient. And then you go, all right, now let's just do that times millions of people, and you go, well, one has an economy and makes a Porsche, and the other makes a daiquiri, and that's kind of how you end up in those places.
That is true. Yeah. That really checks out, man.
Yeah,
like, even in Europe, like Italy, southern Italy is so much more inefficient, and Spain is more inefficient than like Scandinavian countries. So,
I just think that if it's warm, you like to kick it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have your daiquiris.
Yeah, that's why I fucking miss New York, because I live here, but I like New York way more. I think it just, I don't know, I miss winters too, because when you're uncomfortable, I feel like it just makes you tougher, it makes you want to work harder,
The first time I did Letterman, I just walked in a studio, it was 55 degrees.
Yeah.
Because he's like, when it gets hot, people start drifting off.
Stand up.
They
100%.
start, you played You know when you play a club and it's hot out there,
Dude.
when you see someone fanning
no.
themselves, you should just walk off the stage because it's over. Your set is over.
1000%.
It's fucking like oh, okay, I'm too fucking hot to laugh. I'm not even going to pay any attention. I'm just hot. It's gone. The air gets thick.
Oh, 1000%.
The jokes thump. You can hear them landing before they get to the audience, and it's fucking over.
No, you need them to be freezing and comfortable.
That's what Letterman figured out.
I just came back from Burning Man. I was there like a couple days ago, and I did a comedy show there. There was a camp, and they said it was a comedy show, so I show up there, and it's only Russians.
Nice.
Like
really?
pure Russians. And it was this dude, he looked like Bert Kreischer he looked like a Russian mafia dude with a belly. I think every Russian has a belly too. I've never seen a Russian without a belly. And then they were doing the show purely in Russian, and then they got me up.
At Burning Man?
At Burning Man, yeah.
Really?
I didn't know it was a Russian camp, but they threw me up at the time, not in Russian, but in English. And it was like at Burning Man, it gets cold as fuck, you know? It was like probably in the 50s, 40s, but it even made Russians laugh. You know what I mean? Have you ever heard Russians laugh? I had not before, you know?
What's it sound like?
They sound like, huh, 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 you know? Because Germans laugh like, you know, we don't really laugh. We like, ha, ha. It's the more emotionless, but Russians are like fucking the alpha energy with it. Huh, 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 huh. It's almost condescending when they laugh, you know?
Oh, can I ask you?
But it was so cold, they were,
I have a couple German questions for
Please.
you.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like to think of myself as kind of an ugly American, but
Really?
you know,
You have
World
a
War
great-
II,
I used
back
to do
to back.
I used to do modeling. You have a good symmetrical bone structure and shit.
thank you.
How tall are you?
6'2".
Look at you, fucking.
Keep
What
going.
are you
You know
talking
what?
about?
You come
6'2"?
back tomorrow, too,
You
my
can
friend.
fucking-
You come back tomorrow.
We're gonna
too.
get you signed, dude.
Joe,
Fuck.
bump whoever's whatever hack is signed up for tomorrow's guest, and let's get Mario. All right, so no, ugly, spiritually an ugly American.
So you're spiritual, ugly.
Yeah, I like to think of myself that way.
Got it.
And but for a good reason, you know, we're pretty superior over here. And I was
work.
walking in Malibu a few days ago, and there's all these people getting in and out of their car at on PCH or going to use the beach and stuff. And there was a young woman, and her like foot was kind of caught in the door, the minivan or something, and I heard her going, "Ow, ow, ow," and then spoke French.
Oh, French. Oh.
And or German. I can't remember, but I remember as I passed it, I was
Probably
going,
French if they were that
I was
bitchy
going,
about
ow
it.
is our word, bitch. That's us. we do ow. You get your own fucking French word for ow. That's not us. And then I realized, wait a minute, maybe like everyone pretty much uses no.
Yeah.
That's kind of a universal or semi-universal.
For the most part, yeah. Yeah, except for Greek, they say like "ja" for no or something.
Oh,
weird
really?
Like that.
I
Or-
just know Germans do 999.
Yeah, 999. Exactly, that's our.
So
yeah, 9,
is
yeah.
ow a universal thing when you get your foot caught in a minivan door, or was she just owing in English and then yelling at her husband in French?
No.
And then what's German for ow?
Oh, in Germany we don't yell out
don't
of
have
pain
an ow.
because we just take the pain. You
just suck it
we
up?
don't make any. We just suck it up. Yeah, no emotion.
Just
We
put
just
a-
fucking we take it in.
you
We
put
like,
a-
oh, I deserve this. You know.
Yeah.
You put a pencil in your mouth, jump down on it.
Devoted to schoolwork.
All right, well, here's the second
No,
question.
what we say is in German technically we say aua.
Aua.
Aua, which there's one other there's one more letter which makes it less efficient than American, which makes me a little mad.
Yeah.
But, I think French, in my opinion, they're the most pussy nation. Nobody likes French people, by the way.
No.
So thank you. That's the only country we can make fun of and like hate. I think collectively, which is beautiful.
I'm racist against the French.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I think it's beautiful. But they say like I think they always do this like weird like you know they probably have more of that like
What?
weasel,
They-
they have more of that weasel energy, you know. So, yeah.
Do you have a name? So I had a Swedish guy who was an editor who I worked with for a long time, and I had an English girlfriend for a while. Okay. And when we have a missing person here, you know, when we find a body with no ID on it, we call it John Doe. Right? Oh. And then so I said to my English girlfriend, "What is your John Doe?" Because it can't be universal.
Yeah.
There's people named John Doe. And
Great question.
she goes, "Our missing person in the UK is Joe Bloggs."
Joe Blogs?
Blogs?
Joe Bloggs. It's their John Doe.
Ah.
And I go, all right, that makes sense. And then later on, I talked to my Swedish editor, and I said to him, what do you guys do in Sweden? What's the name for like when you find someone in the river with no head and no wallet? And he goes, We don't have one. And I went, that's probably good.
That's probably good.
We find it so much that we needed to actually name these people. We find so many bodies without their heads.
But that's surprising because, Sweden is the country with the most murders and shit like that.
Is it?
Yeah, because all the I grew up reading a lot of crime novels in Germany. They're all Swedish authors because they have that dark shit. Because their winter lasts 7 months of no sunlight, so they get depressed as fuck. So they have a lot of
serial
So
killers.
what's
dead
your
people,
German?
So in German,
John Doe.
I knew it was Max. I had to look up the last time I just looked up. So the German John Doe is called Max Mustermann. Oh yeah.
But that seems so specific. But I guess John Doe is too.
So Mustermann actually means Max example person. So Mustam is like example and man means man. So Max example person.
Right.
So it's it's not a real. Nobody's called Max Mustermann. So
we get
but
it.
John Doe is like an actual name, right? Are
is
people
it?
not called John Doe? I thought it was John Doe
must
because
be
it's
a
the most
Doe out
common.
there.
John Doe is a weird one to choose because John would be the most popular
For
American
sure.
name, and
Yeah.
Doe isn't exactly exotic.
But it's not popular by any means.
But I'm sure there's some dudes
really,
named John Doe.
John Smith would be
Yeah.
our
But
standard name.
isn't that the guy who made the Book of Mormon?
To me,
Yeah.
that's the guy that's a wrestler.
That'd be weird.
To me, John Smith
yeah.
is different depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
John Doe is the guitar player for the band X.
See?
Who's also an
There you go.
actor, but I think it's because it's a punk band he named himself
Yes.
John Doe.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think that's his
That's
actual
his real name, yeah.
His actual name. It's a pretty good
That's
punk
interesting, man.
angle there, John Doe.
Hell yeah.
So Max Mustermann.
Max Mustermann. Yeah.
Mustermann.
Mustermann.
Max Mustermann. I
Zimmermann.
like that.
Yeah. That's some of them. Yeah.
So you leave Germany, you come to Los Angeles. Now, are your parents disappointed that you're not either a DJ or working for Porsche?
Well, I think parents would be disappointed if you're a DJ for the most part. But I was studying to become a chemical engineer. I loved engineering.
There you go.
I was actually very smart.
You still are.
Thank you, I appreciate that. But then I realized that I was too hot to be educated.
Yeah.
And then I became a male model. Yeah, that's what happened. So I was contacted on Facebook when I was 19 from a modeling scout in New York. And he sent me a message. He was like, hey, gorgeous. Eggplant emoji.
That's what he said.
Water emoji. Yeah, there's a lot of sexual vibes. As a gay guy. And he was like, hey, you should come to New York and be a model. P.S. You can stay with me at my place in Harlem.
Perfect.
And I just read this. I didn't know what the fuck Harlem was because I'd never been to the US. I just saw this and I was like, Harlem, that sounds so exotic, So I went to Harlem, met this guy, and he actually turned out to be legit. He became my modeling mentor, became my mother agent, kind of like my manager. He signed me with my agency, and then I did modeling. That's what I did, yeah.
I'll tell you, man, I think if you're trying to sell yourself to a woman and you say, ex-male model, now stand-up comedian, they go, well, that about covers all the bases. Because male models can be great-looking but vacuous, and then, you could end up with Patton Oswalt as your lover, you know what I mean, short and stumpy. But male model, that's basically... the Bond hottie, who's the, she's the astrophysicist who looks like a super hot 27-year-old chick. Like, that covers it. That's
Thank
good.
you. I love
for
this.
you.
Keep going. I love this. No, it's very interesting you say this because also I was an engineer, so I kind of feel like I have those
Yeah,
covered.
got the brains.
Because when I was not doing stand-up, I felt ashamed of telling people I was a model because I didn't identify. It's just what I did for a living. It happened to be that way, and I love the traveling, but I felt ashamed a little bit because I didn't work to be a model. I didn't go to college. I was just born hot.
You gotta get a rap for the models. Okay.
Yeah.
Every female model.
Yeah.
Everyone. You could watch, you go on the internet and watch 2,000 hours of A-list female models and ask the story, the origin story. How did you get into modeling? None of them ever go, I woke up on my 15th birthday, I took a look in the mirror, and I said, fuck this, I'm so fucking hot. I'm moving to France. No. Every single story is their friend was entering some sort of modeling competition or talent show or something.
Like that. Yeah,
and I went along with them, which is total bullshit.
Yeah.
Comics do it too. Like my friend was doing an open mic, so I went, sit in the fucking audience and shut the fuck up. You're not getting up on stage. Like if I showed up with one of my friends to a whatever, I mean, so they go, I had no interest in this. okay, why are you going with your friend to a modeling audition for shit you have? Like, what if your friend was trying to get a job at Pep Boys, but you didn't want to work at Pep Boys? Would you just go with them? No, you wouldn't. So they always disavow everything. They go, I showed up, and they didn't like my friend, but someone said me. They basically tell the story that someone got them in a headlock and dragged them into modeling because they never want to go, I'm fucking taller than everyone, I'm hotter than everyone. Plus, they then tell the story being awkward. In high school.
Oh, God, that's such a
You know what I mean?
one.
The guy was so much taller. You were fucking 6 foot statuette, smoking hot blonde. You're 44 now. You're still hot. When you were fucking 17, you were a smoke show. Don't tell me no one wanted to go to the prom with you. But they tamp it way down.
But because we want to be relatable, dude. Like it's. Let me tell you about the struggle of a tall, hot guy in America. So I have that fear of.
Tell Mayhem. I've lived it every day of my life. I'm living it right now, but tell Mayhem about that.
Dude, it's like you feel so much judgment, especially when you tell people you're a model. Because movies like Zoolander didn't help, you know? It's like you fucking
best day of my life when that movie came out.
Dude,
didn't leave my room for 2 days.
So you have all these stereotypes. So you're trying to like be more relatable, not sound like it. Even when I do comedy, dude, like I don't start with the modeling shit because when I do shows not in front of my crowds, but like random crowds, I go on stage and first tell people that I go like, people think I look like an absolute douchebag. Cool, nobody disagrees. Kind of like to let them know that I look like a douchebag. Because if I just start with the modeling shit, I just become men, especially straight dudes, don't like me anymore. Because they feel like threatened by me and all this shit. And I don't want that. I want to connect with dudes. I love straight dudes. I want to connect with my bros.
What is that? There's a comedy thing where you have to be super likable as soon as you get out the gate. And if you're good looking, it's a detriment to the comedy.
I think in comedy it is. So I think I have to acknowledge it. With gay men and women, it's fine.
Yeah.
But straight dudes, that's always where I feel like a little bit of... they don't want to like me at first. Just when I walk on stage, without having said a word, they don't want to like me. Because they think I'm going to sleep with their girlfriend or something like that. Which I would never fucking do. I mean, I could probably, but I'm not going to, right?
Do that.
So,
it's a burden, man.
Thank you for
giving me a platform.
I don't know how you guys do it.
Struggle.
I don't know how you guys do it.
It's, again.
If somebody feels seen and hurt by this, then please leave a comment.
I'm just happy
I'm sure
to be
there's some
this
hot dudes
beastly.
watching.
Well, let's see if we can figure this out for a second. Because look, it's probably not a good thing to look like a male model to do stand-up because it kind of flies in the face of it. And in a weird way, people have a box to put you in, and it can be confusing to them, which is, I have a very simple equation. I'm Italian.
Yeah.
I worked construction in the San Fernando Valley here as a carpenter my entire adult life until I got into comedy. But I didn't really get into comedy. I was like 31, 32 or something. I had I had over a decade run.
Nice.
In all the years I did it, no one thought I was Jewish. Never once. Every construction site. The second I got into comedy and I walked into a writer's room, they're like, well, you're Jewish, right? You're Jewish. And I'm like, not Jewish. But I
had to tell somebody you weren't Jewish this weekend.
I had to stop being Italian once I got into comedy. You had to, Mayhem had to spread the word. Not a Jew.
I was like, this guy ain't a Jew. What are you talking about?
Yeah, still not a big Hamas fan, but not a Jew. All right, so people kind of have their things, and they go, well, this guy can't do construction if he's a Jew, and then they go, well, this guy can't do comedy if he's an Italian. They kind of put you somewhere.
Sure.
They compartmentalize you somewhere in your head. But at the beginning, like, Dane Cook blew up because of his sort of physicality. He sort of strutted around in short sleeve shirts. There are examples. Matt Rife is now. Sebastian Maniscalco is kind of that way.
Well, I think he's not. I mean, do you think he's that hot?
No, I'm trying to draw a distinction of not saying necessarily hot. Chris D'Elia was this way.
Yeah.
It's a physicality.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
sure.
I go on stage, hold the mic, and slump over.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
These guys are sort of showing off their physicality. And if you watch them, it's always lots of arm, lots of movement, lots of physicality, and guys kind of go like, even straight guys and stuff go, oh, I like that guy, but it's like he's not really saying that much. It's kind of a show off the gun. It's the physicality that people react to versus pull up a stool and just sit there and sort of
like
slump
Chappelle,
over and
just
Because
like-
there's something subconscious about a dude standing with his chest out like this, projecting that you want to listen to what he says.
The good aesthetic can work for you. There are examples of that.
I will admit that it helps. Probably now it helps with social media. Like without any question, I don't want to like for sure. I don't want to sound like a victim here. Of course, there's like so much privilege in like being tall and all that. Like social media, I do recognize it. Like when you make videos and you're a good looking guy. That's how I made YouTube videos after when I was modeling. I started a YouTube channel. That's what was my full time job for like the past 5 years, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm 1,000% sure that my looks help with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people tend to listen more to what you have to say when you have a certain look.
Oh, people
However,
think George Clooney's a genius based on nothing but his jaw.
Yeah.
Like, it really,
100%.
like, listen to that guy. Who's going to be the next
would
president? What should we do next? What about Ukraine, George? It's like, I didn't fucking go to college.
100%, man. Arnold Schwarzenegger. So many people. So there's definitely some. However, though, the one struggle I have with YouTube is that the people I attracted were predominantly gay men, which is great, but it kind of put me a little bit in a box with that. But I'm not complaining. I'm very happy, and now I'm on the Adam Carolla show, the straightest show in the universe.
That's
so every
right,
fucking hour
that's
where we
right.
talk
The
about
ugly
warships
American.
and bricklaying.
No,
That's
they
right.
did a study. They did a study. They had like kindergartners vote for all the up and down the ticket.
Yeah.
And the good-looking people, the people that looked like the leaders, got like almost exactly the same amount of votes as the people who are uninformed on the subjects.
Yes.
It's a very strange thing.
That's true. That's why Biden won 4 years ago. I feel like 'cause he's just like he looks like a handsome
He looked
president.
like
he
the
looked like a
president
president
on
dude.
TV.
Yeah, he looks like the president once he talks. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, changing the subject. Oh, no.
Back to
On
warships.
gay sexuality.
Yeah.
On gay sexuality, my assistant outed me yesterday.
Okay. Jesus.
Even though I'm not even
Right to your
gay.
life.
Breaking news.
But my assistant Kyle's a huge film freak. Buff. Knows every movie. Right? So I went and did a car race in a Japanese car. Sorry, I didn't bring the German car. That was the year before.
Still the Axis powers. It's all
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I was in a Hungarian car. Deep dive into the Axis powers. And I was racing this Japanese car. And then there was a professional photographer who took a picture. There's guys who take pictures at the track, and then they send them to you, and they go, you want to buy this picture? And it was a cool picture, so I bought it.
Sure.
So I didn't know what I'm doing. So I said to my assistant, take that picture that we bought and like tweet it out. And he
Okay.
goes, what should I write? And I said, write rubbing is racing. Because he's a big Days of Thunder. He's a movie nut. And it's a Days of Thunder thing. So he did that. And then I went in and did my show. And a few hours later, I went and looked. And I kept reading all these like gay comments about my picture. Because he did not write rubbing is racing. You can see the picture on the screen.
Oh, wow.
He wrote
Yeah, I saw
rubbing
this.
his racer, which now took a turn for the gay.
Oh, my
And
God.
you can leave that off. But I then had to try to walk it back, except for
It's actually better, though.
it does. I mean,
I saw the correction. It made it worse.
grammatically, it sort of makes sense. But I just thought because Kyle was a big movie buff,
Yeah.
I
would
didn't
get
have
that?
to, he would know rubbing is racing, which he probably does. Now, to be fair to Kyle, he did write rubbing his racer, and then I was sitting, and I don't think I was wearing my glasses, and he held the phone in front of me, and he goes, is this good? And I just went, yeah, it's good, because I thought it was in the vernacular.
Yeah.
Rubbing is racing. He's going to write that. And I don't have to
That's so funny.
spell check it.
Did you
But-
text it to him or like send him in a voice note? Is
no,
there a
I just
chance of-
walked into the next thing. I don't know. How
Got
far
it.
away am I from that $1 million Alfa Romeo in this picture?
You're close,
Wow.
bud.
Oh, that's you. I didn't
You're
know
trading
which one you
paint.
were.
Oh, so
yeah.
I'm driving the Datsun. That's the
Dude, Alfa Romeo,
Japanese
by the
car.
way, that's the first car I learned how to drive, and it's probably my favorite car brand.
I love Alphas.
Like, they're so
This is
alpha.
a weird
Datsun,
Alpha
here.
that
That's
nobody
weird.
knows. It's a Z something. but it's really cool. I don't remember in the race being that close to that dude in my Datsun. But anyway, I got outed by Assistant Kyle. Now,
so do you have a lot of gay fans?
No. I would imagine no.
Were the comments gay men, or was it just like straight men being like, that's gay?
I think it was just a sort of general gay joke, kind of stuff.
Yeah. Nobody makes more gay jokes than straight dudes, too.
Yeah,
nobody talks about sucking dick more than straight men. You know what I'm saying?
No, we love it.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yeah. Because in Germany, it's like, when you talk about sucking dick, you suck dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in America, it's American straight bros, a little different, the language.
You back it up. We just talk about it.
You just talk about, dude, like, there was a guy, when we compliment each other, there was a dude who gave me a compliment. I was, after a show at Laugh Factory, I went to this bar. It's like a bro-y bar on Sunset. It's like right next there. Mm-hmm. And this bro-y dude from UCLA walks up to me, and he goes, hey, bro, listen, I don't want to suck your dick, but your hair looks incredible. And I was like, you could have just told me that. But he was like, fuck, I want to compliment this dude, but I don't want him to think that I'm gay. So I'm going to tell him how I don't want to suck his dick.
Well, we got no homo.
But all I thought was, this gay guy wants to suck my dick. You know, it was like this weird,
No diddy.
Yeah. No diddy, exactly, yeah.
So speaking of
sucking dick,
sex, I was watching the show Adam 12, cop show from the 70s.
Okay.
Very popular 70s cop show out here. 70s, we had a lot of cop shows and detective shows.
I don't know any American TV.
Like
the only thing I know is David Hasselhoff, Knight Rider, stuff like that. Yeah.
Huge. So, the reason I find myself watching these 70s shows, it came on. I was scrolling through the TV over the weekend, and it came on, and it was filmed all throughout the 70s, early 70s and mid 70s in the San Fernando Valley where I grew up. So it's because the studios were just out here. They're just in Burbank, and they had to film guys driving squad cars, go down to this street, get out of the car, see the lady at the house or whatever. And they go, well, why are we going on the other side of the hill or across town? No one who's watching this show in Indiana has any idea where Vineland or Riverside or Colfax. We'll just drive down the street. Yeah. We'll keep it close, So, but I lived in the neighborhood that they drove around in. So I would just watch all this footage from, 40 or 50 years ago of like streets that didn't have graffiti or homeless or shopping carts or trash, like it was clean and it was like kind of normal. Yeah. So everyone was thin. Like all the cops were thin, all the citizens were thin. Everyone was thin and everything was sort of orderly and people were sort of normal and everything. And so I was watching this episode just to see what the San Fernando Valley looked like 50 years ago. But the episode took a turn.
Okay.
It took a turn. and usually it was just kind of corny stuff. It was bizarre because like they'd come in and they'd go, some kid got his bicycle stolen. And everyone in the police precinct would be like, all right, drop what you're doing. Like put their sandwich down and start running for the car.
God,
all right,
dude.
What we're going to do a grid. His bike was stolen on Lameda Street. That should mean he couldn't have got any farther than Sepulveda. And they oh my God. Now you fucking cop steals your car or your laptop. You call them. They're like, good luck. And they just fucking hang up. Dude. Like they snap into action.
That is wild.
One of the stories was some Chinese woman gave to the Goodwill an old stove that was in the back of her house, like in the yard, just gave it away. But it turned out the husband was keeping money in like a cash there stashed away, and now they needed it back. And the entire precinct just stopped and went APB on that stove. Like everyone hit the streets right now. Get a make on the truck. Find the company that was taking it. Like literally scouring the San Fernando Valley looking for an old stove because some Chinese woman lost it. So it was kind of interesting that way. But they would snap into action like over nothing. But this time there was a missing kid. And I'm going to share the first scene just because we'll find out how old the kid was, and then it'll take a turn.
Okay.
Take a turn. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Loy, Reed, this is your district. And a missing juvenile, 6-year-old girl, 1328 Glenview. Name's Karen Sutter. You guys know her?
Yeah.
Okay, just stop right there. I like the part. There's a 6-year-old girl.
Do you know her?
That lives somewhere in the San Fernando Valley. Yeah, I know her. Karen? Sure. Yep.
That's a red flag. Okay.
I know that. I know her. Now, he goes on to explain she showed up at some community meeting or something. But still, there's no way you'd go to a community meeting and memorize the name of every 5.5-year-old that walked in there. But he knows her. All right, this is how we used to write TV.
Yeah.
All right, so she's 6, and she's been abducted.
Yeah.
And they're going door to door. Everyone's going door to door, right? And then at some point, he knocks on a door. By the way, back then, you knew who the guilty people were because their house was a little dicey out front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The nice houses with the nice lawns and the rose bushes and stuff, no problema.
Yeah.
The dicey ones looked a little gray and a little weird.
The filter.
Which, by the way, they should just go to those houses first. Don't bother all the fucking old ladies at the nice houses. They didn't abduct anyone.
It's more formulaic Law and Order.
Yes. All right. So then he shows up at the house with the dicey dude. And sorry, we have that clip.
Maybe I can help you.
He sees
children.
Oh, the music, dude.
He sees there's a red sweater in there.
Oh my God.
She was wearing a red sweater, and he looked into the guy's house, and he saw there was a red sweater. And then now the foot chase. This is the other thing they don't do. He chased this guy for 7 miles on foot. Like he never stopped chasing this guy. No cop. Well, cops are fat now, so they can't chase you for 3/4 of a mile. There's this. It's her dress.
Oh my God, the music is so hard.
He took the 6-year-old and he raped her. Right? Hold on.
Harsh.
They couldn't say rape back then. They're like, it's a shame what happened to her.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like they'd sort of float out there that this is a sexual assault.
They dance all the way around that bush.
Right, because later on, the guy got arrested for being a peeping Tom. His rap sheet, he was a peeping Tom. He hanging around schoolyards.
Yeah.
Exposure. Oh, we have that one. Okay, well, I'll do it and I'll do it out of order because there's one more, but we'll do this one. Give me the guy's rap sheet just so you can know what this guy, the guy who ran, the guy who jumped on. This is what he did to kids.
Man you arrested, Tennyson, has 3 prior arrests for child molesting, loitering at schools, and indecent exposure, and he's still on parole.
All right.
He has a right to a trial by a judge and jury, not by you.
All right. So there's many things. Now, so the guy's a pedophile who's on parole, who just got done raping a 6-year-old. Okay. But when the cop catches up to the guy's got a lot of attitude, and he's playing certain angles. And I want you to hear his angle on why he had sex with that 6-year-old. Okay?
All right, he's going to talk his way out of that.
He's got an angle.
What are we doing?
I just got to watch. That's all. He does the move they do in all good cop movies where they would... I was explaining to Kyle that we didn't really need all this part. I don't know why.
I like the build-up,
but just the part where he jumps on him. But this is fine. He chases him for 40 minutes.
Coldwater Canyon.
Looks very clean, though, as you said.
Everything's clean.
Super
no
clean.
Graffiti. No nothing.
Oh, he jaywalked. I don't respect that. He jaywalked. Very un-German.
Don't go for that.
Very un-German.
Kyle, remember the part where he just dove on him and arrested him? But that's all right. We'll watch the whole thing. It used to be you'd try to evade people and you'd knock trash cans down as if they would stop chasing you.
Classic strategy.
Yeah. Now, this is where I told you to pick it up from, Kyle, right there.
Oh,
I jumped on him. A lot of jumping.
That's hot. That's very hot.
All right, now let's just listen to this guy. Cop's being a little bit rough on him, but he just chased him for 4 miles, and he fucked a 6-year-old.
You're hurting me.
You're hurting me.
Hey, man, the cup's hurt as much as you hurt her. Oh, hey, man, what do you think I am? It was her idea.
What?
You don't scare me. The not my fault. She wanted what she got. I got
All right, let's hold it there for a second. She wanted what he raped a 6-year-old. It was her idea.
Oh, God.
This guy has super high self-esteem.
Yeah.
Dude.
He's not repentant at all. She shouldn't have been wearing those jammies if she
was
didn't want
asking
none.
for it, dude. She was asking for it. What the fuck? Oh, my
What
God.
was the flap in the jammies for if she wasn't asking for it?
Man.
So
This took a turn, dude.
Yeah, it did. That's
took a
dark.
turn.
That was real dark, Adam. I appreciate this show, but damn, that was dark.
that's 1974 dark right there.
Wow.
That was prime time 1974.
That's what I'm thinking.
I was 10 going, what? She's asking for
Oh,
it?
but do you know about compared to German? Do you know about the German shit though we show?
Oh, please tell us.
Yeah.
Can't be.
Is there anything else?
There's a little more.
Yeah.
There's a little more, but then we'll get into the German shit.
Do that, and then I have a thing for you with
All
the
right.
German.
All right.
It's even more
Just
intense.
run it
Yeah.
back 10 seconds just so you can hear this convicted pedophile's excuse to the cop about fresh off of raping the girl.
You don't scare me. It's not my fault. She wanted what she got. I got my rights. So do I. Shut up. Hey. Hey. Cool it. I'll take him in.
Forget it. I've got him.
So then the whole story turns into officers abusing a suspect, but it's just because he pushed him.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say.
Dude,
Wait, listen to this guy. Listen to this guy's rap. This guy who is on probation, is a convicted pedophile, and just got done raping a 6-year-old who's in the hospital.
Did you see the girl?
Yeah.
She alive?
I don't know.
She may be dead
She may be dead.
from being raped from this guy.
I give him his rights.
This guy then rolls the window down of the cop car and he's like, "Hey man, this is some bullshit. Like, what was up? What was with all the rough treatment?"
Oh God.
So, wait a minute. Let's see if this is the part.
You hurt? How's the girl?
That's his commanding officer.
I want to see the sergeant.
He's indignant.
That's a carrot.
She's in the hospital. She may not live because of this rape.
Sergeant. Okay, take it easy.
Listen, he's got gripes.
Problem. I want to make a complaint against him.
Yeah.
Malloy, 744, number 744.
It's his badge
he
number.
choked me when I was handcuffed, and he jammed my wrist up against the building.
Oh my God.
And he threatened to kill me. All right.
I was tired from raping a 6-year-old, and this guy pushed me against stucco.
I think he broke my wrist.
You know what, Adam? Though
What he says is true.
you're getting rage
All right.
baited by 1974 rage bait
you're-
because they did that on purpose. There's no way
You think so? But
that
19
was they did that to piss off the populace back then, and it's still pissing you off to this day.
I'm jealous of this guy. Like, he has such high self-esteem.
The
You know?
moral indignation. How
Moral
dare you
indignation. My
break my
wrist is
wrist?
sore.
How am I gonna? Never mind.
How am I gonna
say
rape?
that out loud.
Dude, but people do that shit, and I don't want to get too serious, but we're there, man. Fuck it. Like, I had some experiences with sexual assault and harassment in modeling, too.
Oh,
and,
sure.
And the
In Harlem.
people in Harlem, actually, yeah. I mean, dude, it starts with, like, the most mundane shit where you're like, oh,
They
this
groomed
is just...
you.
Exactly.
Oh,
Have you seen
Jesus.
Baby Reindeer, by the way?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gee. I just watched it before going to Burning Man. Phenomenal show. Truly very...
I watched that before
I
going.
don't
I
fucking
know.
know.
That
I was in
phrase
Reno. I
altogether,
was in
that's
Reno before
2024.
going to before Burning Man a full day. So I want to watch it. So, anyways, and because I watched, I couldn't stop, man. It was so
I
fucking
couldn't stop
captivating.
either.
It was awesome.
I know.
But that's basically what happened to me. Mine is the stalker. But like, there's a lot of people who just like they have so much power,
Yeah.
and they think they can demand anything because you're a desperate model. Because
How
also,
you think I got this job?
100%. How many?
Which reminds me, man, it is Monday.
us.
So.
We've got
Sorry,
to go.
go ahead.
Welcome to Hollywood, man. You made it. But people think they have so much power because also I was broke as fuck. Because as a male model, by the way, I don't want to be like, complaining too much, but like women make 3 times more than men for the same jobs. as a
Yeah.
model.
Oh, yeah.
There's a pay gap in America, and we need to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah,
So-
Baby Reindeer, it's like the guy was whatever seduced by a powerful Hollywood
Yeah.
guy, but then he kind of kept going back. Then it was like pretty murky about like, is it something he wanted or
Yeah,
he
yeah.
liked or
Yeah, yeah.
and then it's good. It was ambiguous and things aren't all episodes of Adam 12
Black
and white.
Black and
so clear, but And there was a lot of nuance to it.
Oh,
I guess.
so much nuance. But I appreciated his honesty because what happened to me is also like people would like, they would first like when I did underwear photo shoot, they would just like adjust my underwear. And they'd be like, hey, can I adjust your underwear? And I'm like, sure, man, go ahead. And then they would fucking just like, one dude, no joke, he like pulls my underwear to the front, he grabs my penis, lengthens it, puts it down again, closes the underwear. Oh. That's his adjustment. And he did like a cashier at a supermarket. You open the register, put the dollar bill, close it.
Wow.
And it was so, after a while though, that shit gets so normal. Like I told my modeling friends in New York, because the job was in Milan, and I told them, I was like, guys, I just did a modeling gig in Milan, and the photographer lengthened my dick. And they were like, oh my God, bro, you got a modeling job in Milan? I gotta call my agent, dude. It becomes so normal, that shit. So the further it gets, and then sometimes a guy, and this is why I was bringing this up, there's one dude who told me that he was gonna shoot me for this big magazine, and then we're shooting, and then out of fucking nowhere, he like I was in underwear, because I did a lot of underwear photo shoots, so it's inherently sexual, every photographer's gay. Right. And he just pulls my underwear down and like tries to basically, sit on me. And I was like, no, man, I don't want this. And I'm not, it's hard to be very confrontational at that moment because you're so young, you're so insecure, you don't have any money, you depend on these people. It's a job, right? Right. And then he said this, man, he said after he basically assaulted me, he was like, no, Mario, listen, this is the fashion industry and you have to be more open. Because this is fashion. Like he blamed me, much like this guy, the confidence on this dude to after I called him out for this shit, to blame me and make me feel bad because I'm from a small town called Alpirsbach im Hochschwarzwald, and I'm very vanilla and I'm new to like New York because my town is 800 people and then I moved to New York for modeling. Obviously, a lot of new things are happening. So the balls on this guy to just like blame me, after that reminded me.
But he's also probably used to that because maybe some of the guys in the business are gay or even more flexible, you know what I mean? And so he probably, it's like those dudes that are Instagram photographers that they just go and that's their thing. They just smash every chick in the vicinity and they're like, yeah, you want to be millions of followers? Then, and it's that
power
weird,
dynamic,
the Weinstein of cameras is disgusting, but it's part of the business.
You should know that at the end of Adam 12 from 1974, the cop, Malloy, who roughed up the pedophile, got suspended.
Oh, what? Dude, I've been beat up worse for telling the cop he's going to die of diabetes.
Hold on, what happened to the rapist, though? He got a fucking settlement for like
he went to the hospital. His wrist was not injured. He had sustained no injuries, but they still suspended the cop. Now, in 1974, LAPD was in Harlem beating the shit out of black people on a daily basis with a nightclub, right? A nightstick, right? And a fire hose and shit. But I think they did it to go, all this guy did was push a pedophile against the side of a building and he got suspended. That's how good we are with our employees at LAPD.
It's propaganda.
It's propaganda. That's really, right. Versus copophilia.
Copophilia.
Which is what you got.
Yeah, I got copophilia. 1,000%.
Propaganda and copophilia. Joe, one more time.
Hit me with some more out of 12.
Listen, stay tuned because there's more.
God.
Just when he picked the guy up, the pedophile up off the ground, and he basically said it was her idea. That was the best part.
It was craziest shit
ever. She's 6. Right. Pulls her.
Oh my God. Dude.
Everything was a foot chase back then.
On your feet. Hey, man, the cuffs hurt as much as you hurt her. Oh, hey, man, what do you think I am? It was her idea.
So weird.
You don't scare me.
All right, you don't bother. But that's a weird piece of dialogue to write down. Like you can say you got nothing on me, or I got my rights, or I want to talk to my lawyer. But it was a 6-year-old's idea for me to penetrate her sexually as a weird comeback to a cop.
They wanted the juxtaposition. They wanted the audience to get super angry and want the cop, because I've seen cops in real life handcuff a guy, pick him up, the guy mouths off, and they send him back down into the head first into the ground and brutally. But they wanted you to be angry, and you want this guy to get obliterated, and instead he just got a little push, and my wrist. Nah.
If you were doing a light MMA sparring session, that wouldn't have covered it, right? That was nothing.
I was in Austin, Texas a couple weeks ago, and I saw a dude getting kicked out of a nightclub. Way harder than this. No fucking, not even close, dude.
I'm here to say Adam 12 is not real. But
this documentary
it
sucks.
is one of those things at the end where they go, this story is based on actual crime files. Oh, yeah.
The Dick Wolf
they
playbook?
changed the name to protect the innocent.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's like a true crime thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so what it probably happened is there is some pedophile, and he did get busted, and the LAPD got him, but this dialogue probably never took place, I would guess.
Hopefully
all right,
not.
should we let's take a break. Mayhem's got news.
Got news.
We'll do that right after this. Simply Safe. Well, I've used it. I've trusted it. I've recommended it for years. They've been with us since the beginning, or pretty darn close to the beginning. And I partnered with Simply Safe to offer my listeners peace of mind and 50% off. Just visit simplysafe.com/Adam. We all use it here. We've always used it here. Dawson used it way back in his old apartment. Then he moved into a house and he took the system with him because it's not hardwired. With exclusive 24/7 LiveGuard protection, Simply Safe agents can act within 5 seconds of receiving your alarm and can even see and speak to intruders inside of your home. Install and activate in less than an hour. It's Simply Safe. 2 eyes. Simply Safe. Right, Dawson?
Get 50% off a new Simply Safe monitoring system, plus free indoor security camera with Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit simplysafe.com/Adam to claim this discount. That's simplysafe.com/Adam. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
BetterHelp. Well, the show is sponsored by BetterHelp. You've heard me talk about these guys. You've heard Drew talk about these guys. It's important, I think, in this day and age. And sometimes as adults, we don't learn as much as we should. You learn a lot when you're a kid, but then you stop learning. But why not learn about yourself with BetterHelp? Therapy helps you get that kind of back-to-school mindset going at any age. I've always been a fan of therapy. I've always been involved with therapy. Come from a group, my clan, my family, all up in it. And so if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, convenient, and it's flexible as well. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Take advantage of BetterHelp. Right, Dawson?
Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Carolla today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Carolla.
And now, Alcoa presents Definitely Not a Jew on the Adam Carolla Show. Dateline, Burlington, Iowa. A 48-year-old man was arrested for attempted murder and child endangerment when he accidentally shot his elderly father in the face. The argument began when the son told his father his feet stink. Definitely not a Jew.
Nice work, Dawson. Dates, by the way, for Mario. Boston's coming up. But that's September. Yeah, it's coming up. Nashville, Chicago. Where should people go to find your touring schedule?
MarioAdrion.com. That's where the dates are.
ADRION comedy. Or comedy or just...
Well, just both works.
Okay.
I got both the names, domains, you know.
Real quick for you guys, because it seemed like you'd be both had a pretty good head on your shoulders and try to figure this one out. So Kamala Harris got in some controversy a little lately for sort of A and B. She was doing a speech in Detroit and a speech in Pittsburgh, and she was giving the same speech, but one of them, she kind of blacked it up, you know, and the other one, she was a little straighter. So when she was in front of I guess Detroit was the more urban thing, she kind of did it this way, and then she did it another way. And so we can hear that. There's controversy, and the people that are sort of protecting her, or at least defending her, say, so what? It's not, you know, so speaking in a black voice is not a crime. And they always miss the point, which is it's not the part where anyone cares what she sounds like. It's the fact that she has two different voices for the crowd, which means she has two different voices. She also has two different takes on fracking and immigration and everything else. So we're not exactly sure who you are, or are you just saying what the person in front of you or the crowd in front of you wants to hear? It's not the difference. It's not the black voice. It's the I'm toggling between this and that all the time, and we don't really know if what you're saying is true or you're just sitting in front of this group saying it.
So you're thinking she code switches her policies?
Well, she's code switched all her policies. She was against a whole bunch of stuff, and she's now for it. So she's flopped. She switched on that, and now she's code switching her voice. And so people are kind of wondering, what is it exactly? Which one of you is going to be president?
Black Kamala or Indian Kamala?
Right. So we'll play the two, and then I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a game to play after that.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and shut down schools for 2 years. What about that? You gotta thank them for that, right?
Oh,
Because what we know.
All right, so probably could have cut it at there, but all right, now
This is
3
Pittsburgh?
hours later in Pittsburgh.
Thank unions for sick leave. Thank unions for paid family leave.
Oh, wow.
Thank unions for your vacation time.
All right, this is the same day.
Wow, that's wild.
So and all the fucking douchebags. It's a new thing where people defend people for different crimes than what we're accusing them of. They go, "What's wrong? That's black people do that all the time. They have that voice with their family at the picnic, and then they have the voice in the corporate world." I go, "Yeah, we kind of have that." Too, people talk differently in different spots. That's that. This isn't what we're talking about. We're talking about being two-faced, like sort of lying, and it's based on toggling back and forth on lots of subjects that she said she wanted to do when she was 55, and now she's 60, and she's had totally different takes on everything. So that's what people are reacting to. But now we got to play the game. I have a challenge.
Okay.
For you too. All right.
I'm into it.
Okay. Kamala Harris has told two stories. One of them they're both old family stories. Okay. And Joe, I can't remember. I just saw the bullhorn one online, but I don't know what year that's from, and maybe we could find that out. But the first story, I think she says on Colbert, and we'll just play that, and then I'll play the second family story, and bullhorn one's from 2017. The other one's from Colbert a few years ago, and you tell me. Well, I guess we got the bullhorn one up first.
So this
All
is
right, that's fine.
2017 as well?
It's 2017. Now, she'll tell the story. You don't have to weigh in, and then we'll hear the next story, and we'll decide which one is more bullshitty.
Got it.
Bullshittier than the last. All right. And we're going to have to bet. We're going to have to pick one. All right, here we go.
I come from a long line of tough, trailblazing, and phenomenal women. My grandmother would go into villages in India, and because she was Indian and lived in India, and she would go to the villages in India. It was a famous story in our family. My grandfather would say she was going to be the end of his career, but my grandmother would go into the villages with a bullhorn, talking with the women about the need to have access to reproductive health care.
That's a mouthful.
Wow. Okay, so grandmother
with a bullhorn.
This is 1954.
That's almost too much.
Would go. She'd be shocked if you walked into a village with a bullhorn, 6 a.m. Sunday morning. Hey, ladies. How's your
India,
uterus?
Dude. People have no drinking water. They don't care about reproductive.
So all right, so what we're going to weigh out here is the likelihood of Kamala Harris's grandmother in a village in India with a bullhorn walking in to the village and coaching people up on reproductive rights. Of that actually happening. Yeah. And by the way, every time I hear these stories, if someone goes, Carollas, what did you guys do? Fucking watch TV?
Yeah.
What, did your dad march with Martin Luther?
Literally,
No, he sat at home.
Oh, God.
He didn't march in Selma, Alabama. He didn't do anything. We watched Adam 12.
We just more relatable. When you told me
the
the background in like carpeting and all that shit, I was like, that's great. That's the kind of guy I'd want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah, my dad wasn't a carpenter. He just hung out.
Okay,
but he didn't march with anyone. He didn't have a bullhorn.
No.
He didn't do anything.
Well,
And my mom didn't have a bullhorn either.
But you're a different breed. I think we all like pump up our family a little more. Like, and
It's
even
true.
you,
I'm trying to be accurate.
You tamp your dad down, I
Yeah.
think, more than he was a good guy.
He was good. He was a good guy. But I'm saying, all right, well, watch this one, and then I'll ask you this hypothetical. Which one is a bigger bullshit
God.
story?
I can't do this with my grandfather, dude.
I don't want to use the word bullshit. That's right.
He's in Argentina, isn't he?
He was great, dude. He was great. He walked all the way to Poland. It was great. Okay.
All right. Okay. I'm not going to use the word bullshit. I'm just going to say likelihood of actually happening the way the story is told.
But I think you said bullshittery before, didn't
Bullshittery.
you?
All right. Here it is.
And there are some funny stories. I was just sharing with someone
C-SPAN,
backstage.
sorry.
You know, so
Not
I
Colbert.
witnessed this as I write about in the book, you know, from my stroller's eye view. And there's a funny family story about how, so my mother's marching with the extended family. I talk about like Aunt Mary and Uncle Freddie. And
according to American politicians, fully 86% of the populace marched in the civil rights movement. Everyone's dad, everyone was there.
Yeah. My grandpa also marched. You know?
Yeah, it was more of a goose step, but I get it. He didn't bend the knee. But it's like, that's statistically, if this many people's family members marched back then, those rallies would have had several 100 million people at them.
There'd be no reason to protest.
Everybody's parents were marching.
Yeah.
Nobody sat home and dropped N-bombs and drank beer. Everyone was down at the bridge. Okay. Statistically seems dubious to me, but all right, that's what every American did. But here we go.
From my stroller's eye view, and
she was in the stroller.
There's a funny family story about how, so my mother's marching with the extended family. I talk about like Aunt Mary and Uncle Freddie in the book, and she would tell the story about how so they're marching. And this is back when strollers didn't really have armrests and seatbelts. So they're marching away and, you know, shouting and all of that. And then I think it was my Uncle Freddie, you know, looked down and looked in the stroller, which was empty, and said, "Where's Kamala?" And apparently they left me like a block behind. I'd fallen out the stroller.
What the? All right, hold on. Here it comes.
There you go. And then my mother would tell a funny story about how, like, one day and I was fussing, and you know, and so I'm fussing and fussing. It's much cuter when she would tell the story, but she'd say, so then she would look down at me and, "Kamala, what do you want? What do you want?" And I looked back up at her and I said, "Freedom."
Yeah, this lady is cringe embodied.
I know. The weirdest. I have the same relationship with her as I have with DJ Khaled. I talk to people and they go, "I like DJ Khaled." I go, "Oh my God, you like DJ Khaled? Another one. We the best." I'm like, yeah, he golfs and stuff. I go, "He's the biggest douchebag in the world." And they go, "I like him." And I felt the exact same way. I'm like, doesn't your skin crawl? All right.
God.
Now,
damn,
what if
that's
we
a tough
put?
one.
We're putting it out. Now, look, there's no way to know if either one of these events actually happened. Grandma in India with a bullhorn, or her saying "freedom," while her 100% Indian mom pushed her in some sort of civil rights rally. By the way, she's in the Bay Area. You know what I mean? Like it's not Selma, Alabama. Yeah. Her parents were both professors at Cal, you know, okay. So she's like in Berkeley. So I don't know how much civil rights. Everyone agreed with civil rights in Berkeley. So I don't. You know, it's not.
They still
Skokie,
march.
Alabama.
They still march. They get out there.
All right.
They do their thing.
So here's the game. We're never going to know if either one of these things happened. Yeah. We assume neither happened. Certainly the way it was told, right? Yeah. But if we were to poll 1,000 Americans and say, you got to pick one of them, you got to pick the one you believe. One definitely didn't happen. What are we going with here? Because this is a real toss-up for me.
I mean, dude, the fact that the India thing is hard to believe because like in India, it's just so unbelievable. When people it's such a luxury to be complaining about like civil rights, women's rights, when you have no drinking water. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's such a privilege to be complaining about stuff like that. People in like. I've been to Southeast Asia. People don't care about that kind of stuff. They care about, hey, can we eat? You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that makes it unlikely. But also, the story's just too perfect with her saying like freedom. That's crazy. That sounds like a stand-up. If it was stand-up, I'd be cool with it. Because in stand-up, we take the essence of a situation. Yeah. There's a truth to it, but then we like. But it's too fucking perfect. So I say fuck both. I go with the second one. Freedom. Like no kid says freedom. That's crazy. That is.
You know what? I know.
That
I'm
is
going
crazy.
with I'm going because I coach kids. I'm saying the freedom was there's a kernel of truth in the freedom. Just because
you recite what you hear as a kid.
Yes,
got
little
it.
kids.
You're right. Yeah.
If I say things in practice I coach little kids sometimes, they will say exactly what I say back to me. It's crazy. Like I'm like, oh, okay, well they get a repetition. So I'm going with freedom.
All right. Well,
Freedom's wheel. Freedom's wheel.
Freedom's wheel. All right, so you guys are split on this one.
Split.
This is why we play the game. That means you've got it. You know, if you can split the room, this is what odds makers do in Vegas on the Super Bowl. You know, you go. I like Kansas City. 3.5 points. 3.5 points. And you split. They fucking get you. But that means you're making good book. You know, that's a good odds maker. So thank you for that.
But I'm going plus 110. It's not much. Yeah, I don't know. That could be. You know what I mean,
dude?
He could be right.
Wild.
I think you might be right too. I'm not 100% committed on this, Ace. I'm telling you. I don't know.
I don't know either. I know. I'm relatively sure neither story happened.
Neither are real.
Neither real, but what is less real?
Oh my God.
Well, it's good.
And what about Trump stories?
Well, the problem with Trump, and people think about this all the time.
Somehow it's when he tells things that are just like we're cool with it being untrue.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's almost like
Trump
it's funnier. It's funnier. At least his shit is funny.
Trump does. There's a difference between a blowhard and self-aggrandizing. So there's blowhard stories. So blowhard stories are stories dudes who are in their 40s and 50s tell you about their high school playing days. You know what I mean? Those are the high school playing days. And what they do is they move things around. Like they say, I was an all-valley football player in high school, but I was not all-city. All-city is better than all-valley. And sometimes people will go, if I go on a sports talk show or something, they go, oh, you play football, you're all city guy. And I'll go, no, all valley guy, because I'm accurate and have lowish self-esteem.
Yeah.
But what Trump would do is say he was all city, even though he was on the JV team and maybe didn't start, but he would bump himself up. So he goes, at my inauguration, we had 500,000 people when there was 200,000 people. That's a bump. That's a bump. He does blowhardy.
Yeah.
But it evens out because they make up so many unflattering stories about Trump that he has to battle those. So it's like he went to Arlington and he called he went to all the headstones and whispered pussy into every headstone. And you go, what? Anonymous source told us over at CNN and we're going with it. It's like, is there footage of this?
Man.
Of him kneeling in front of every headstone in Arlington
even that
and
is
calling him
more
a
likable.
pussy?
I don't know how to say it. Even that is more likable. Him doing that, I just like...
I can handle a blowhard.
Yeah.
And the reason I can handle a blowhard is because you see it coming. It's a package. You idolize David Hasselhoff.
Okay. You have no idea.
David Hasselhoff is David Hasselhoff. Shirt undone to the navel, in a big, thinks he can sing, hair out to here.
Chest.
I mean, I saw Hasselhoff at the LA Auto Show from 100 yards away, and I was like, that's Hasselhoff. And he was at the end of a hall, And someone's like, are you sure that's Hasselhoff? That looks like a Hasselhoff impersonator. And I'm like, no, that's what Hasselhoff does. He does a Hasselhoff impersonation when he leaves out.
So funny.
And you make fun of the guy, but you go, I know what it is.
Yeah.
The worst are the guys who try to come across as one way and then weave in some stolen valor or whatever
That's
the other
interesting
direction.
about Trump. You're fully right, man. Yeah,
But
it
see, in
seems
the
more
flip
honest
side,
in a way, even though it's like he said so many lies, but it's somehow like
he
more.
packages in the truth and then puffs it up. The
yeah.
flip side, it seems like she's just coming from bare bones,
Isn't that
from the
crazy?
ground up, making up
It's
stuff,
just too
and it
much.
makes you cringe internally.
It's trying too hard to be liked. You know what I mean? It's a little too desperate, in my opinion. Interesting.
Have you guys the one? So Trump is Hasselhoff,
Yeah, he is.
and then Biden is Clooney. Where you go, I don't know what that guy does, but I trust him.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
at him.
That's a
Look
good
at him. I kind of
comparison.
trust that guy. I don't trust that guy.
Clooney
Look
looks
at him.
like a president too. Fuck yeah.
If you find the clip, Joe, that we have played, or Dawson will find it, that one of Biden from 30 years ago when he's talking about his record as his student, his college record, and then the news, back when the news, you'll be surprised. You know, it's weird if you watch news from like 1993 or something, and they're taking it to Democrats the same way they take it to Republicans, you go, oh, this is weird. And it's like they used to just do the news. They didn't really care if they liked you or what side you were on, or they didn't protect you like they do now. But if you want to just talk about sociopathic lying, this guy, what year is this from, though? Like, are we talking about like
This is the 80s, isn't it?
89?
Maybe late.
Man, but to be fair, that's the
80s.
job of every politician, I feel like.
I know.
Well,
you gotta
listen,
pump up your numbers. Yeah, you gotta
Listen
juice it up.
how crazy this lying is. This is Joe Biden. Late 80s, early 90s, or whatever.
To do. The new questions stem from taped remarks of Biden during an April campaign appearance in New Hampshire.
I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and in fact ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only needed 123 credits.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on a half scholarship, ended up near the bottom of his class, and won only 1 degree, not 3.
Joe Biden ranked 76th in a class of 85 at the University of Syracuse Law School. I mean, this guy comes off this whole thing as a flyweight.
Now Biden says Newsweek is right. His memory had failed him.
I mean, did your memories fail you? Because your memories, I had 165 credits. I only need 122 and a half credits. Like, that doesn't feel like a failing memory.
To be fair, in the 80s, the coke was really strong.
That's true.
Yeah. Dude, the confidence of Biden is even as high as the confidence of the guy who got convicted of raping a girl. You know what I mean?
It's very bold.
Very
that
fucking
is
bold,
an insanely brash
The law school wanted it.
But you know, it's almost dope though how he, like, with what big dick energy stood up there and just told that.
Gotta say shit with confidence. Yeah.
It's also pre-hair plugs. I think the hair plugs let a little knowledge seep in, you know, with those follicles being pushed in.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
so
hilarious.
that's big time lying. It's also, by the way, back when the news, they wouldn't do that. They would not do that to Biden anymore. That was just network news. That was just evening network news, which would never do that.
Because in Germany, I don't know if you know anything about news in Germany, but it's not, we don't have CNN and Fox News. It's all very much just neutral. Like, and it's, the thing is also news in Germany, it's so different because it's basically funded. So by you pay, and there's no monetary interest in like selling
ads,
crazy stories and ads.
I see.
So there's less incentives to have these crazy aggressive stories. It's much more much more German. You know what I mean? Because news stories here are very much sensationalized because they compete with each other for attention, right? Whereas news in Germany, it's very dry. If you look at the news commentator in Germany, it's like the stories are so like just facts about Brexit, about the UK. It's much more global also than just based in America. But I noticed that here, I was so shocked by how different the stories get when you watch CNN and Fox News. For me as an outsider, I was mind blown by that.
Everything here is kind of entertainment.
Exactly. Yes.
So we can find out what year that's from, Joe, or are you looking, or Dawson? I'm curious, or if it doesn't
from
exist.
Tape quality alone, it had to be like 89.
Yeah, it was filmed on a Game Boy, dude.
VHS.
Yeah, it's old. I'm just curious if it's 80s old or 90s old. Anyway, they can find that, which I was looking for, and then And Mayhem can do some news.
Man, we got some news. Whenever you're ready, bud. You ready? Man, Travis Kelce, his PR firm calls lawyers as a document with exact date for Taylor Swift breakup goes viral. So
what is that?
Well, what happened was somebody made like a really clever document that looked like him and Taylor Swift was like in a fake relationship that they're going to break up at a certain time. The document from Full Scope PR, a Los Angeles-based firm, began circulating on social media, first on Reddit, with a split-up date of September 28th for Kelce and Swift. It also appeared to outline a plan for how to handle the reaction to the breakup, including allowing the initial media frenzy to settle and ensure clarity.
All right, so this seems deep fakey, but who knows? And that's the time we're living in. But I also, you got to wonder with Kelce, like, be careful what you wish for a little bit. Like, people kind of do that. I think we were talking about it the other day. You know, Trump was having a pretty good life, a lot of golfing, a lot of private jets, and then he ran for president, and now he's in court every other week. You know what I mean? He could have had the best last 10, 15 years of anyone's life, and instead of sitting in fucking court, which is where he's going to be. So, you know, Kelce was having a pretty good life, too.
Sure.
Popular, rich by all standards, not mega rich, but still flying under the radar just enough to go out and have a few beers at a bar.
That's
and
the
not
perfect level, too, because once you get above that, once you get on like Elon level or it's like
security guards, and everyone films you everywhere. And also, you have to think back. Like, you go like, oh, man, I did some pretty fucked up shit in high school, and I got some buddies over there, and there's probably a tape somewhere of me dropping the N-bomb or whatever. Like, when's that coming out? You know? Do you regret it at a certain point? Does he wish he could go back to famous but not ultra mega? 1987 is where the tape was from, by the way. The Biden tape. So is he going to regret this?
I don't think so.
No.
Nah, I mean, I think that, you know, just put a lot of money in his pocket by doing silly ads for whatever, you know,
His
and now
podcast just got bought for $100 million.
That's what I mean.
Bucks.
So instead, now he's stepped up into that ultra rich sort of that he couldn't get from just catching the ball.
But also, dude, like if your whole thing in this jump is heavily dependent on just dating a woman that is the most famous woman in the world, like maybe there's also something there where, like, you know, if you make it yourself, maybe that's more rewarding.
You're saying that Taylor Swift is cucking our boy Travis Kelce?
I would say so. I mean, if anybody is like, there's nobody who could Taylor Swift date that she wouldn't do this to. Maybe The Rock. Even then, fuck, who could that be, dude? Honestly,
right?
You know what I mean?
I know. No more power couple than The Rock.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends. See, if it's strictly financially based, you know, because the reality is, if it's financially based, you know, the president of the United States makes $287,000 a year.
Sure.
Half the jack-offs at Disney up the street make more than that. You know what I mean? So it can't be totally financially because you're the leader of the free world, but the guy at Disney makes more than you.
Yeah.
So it's got to be that. So I would say if she dated a guy, everyone's going to make less than her because she's selling out stadiums 7 nights in a row. But what if it was a guy who we looked at as supremely talented? Like, what if she was dating, like, Prince, you know, and we go, oh, well, she sells SoFi Stadium out 7 nights in a row. He could sell it out once or twice or something. But, man, I mean, you've seen him play the guitar. Like, she'd have to, the only way to even out the finances would be with some kind of supreme talent. That's what I think. Catching balls in the NFL is fine, but it's not quite Michael Jackson.
Like a
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody would have to really know how to dance and play and sing. And then so they'd go, look at Taylor Swift. They'd go, yeah, but have you seen this guy?
David Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff could do it.
You're right. You're absolutely
Can you imagine,
right.
Dude, but also like being faced, if I put myself in the position, like being faced with the fandom of Swifties.
I know.
And judging everything you do, I think your life might be easier hanging with your bros, throwing some balls, being widely successful. Because I just put myself myself in the position if I just went to Burning Man, did some crazy shit there, right? And I would be there the whole time. I wouldn't have the same freedom.
What'd you do there?
On that level? Dude, I mean, one day I did drugs, some of them.
What'd you do? You
somebody gave me LSD, but like a drop, and I'd only done acid like a small amount, like microdosing when I write comedy. And it basically, I did not, so this person also is a friend of mine, he did realize that it was at the bottom of the bottle, so it was highly concentrated. So I probably did the equivalent of like 3-4 taps.
Nice.
It was, I don't know if you've ever experienced something like that, but have you ever opened your eyes and you couldn't see? Like I saw the multiverse. If I looked at you, I would have seen in your eyes, I would have seen your ancestors. Shit like that. I can't explain it, but it lasted for 17 hours. I wouldn't want to be filmed. And I was
17 hours.
Literally 7.
Wow.
I was awake for 17 hours.
Wow.
It was insane. But I had some beautiful realizations. Went back, listened to classical music, understood the universe.
Wagner.
Yeah, I listened to. Yeah. Bringing it back to the Bismarck Schlachtschiff. I just looked at a photo of the Bismarck Schlachtschiff Tirpitz from 1942, and I just saw the beauty in it, and how efficiently it was built. I just saw it on acid. It was beautiful. Yeah.
Well, you should get high on acid and look at Kamala Harris and see if their stories are true.
You know what? I think I would figure it out.
I think I would figure it out. Yes. And New Delhi.
I think I would too.
See her ancestors call for clean water and healthcare.
Exactly, blowing the horn. Yeah.
There's a dead body found day one of Burning Man, so my screen says.
Day one?
The same day that you dropped the acid, bud.
Did I kill somebody? No, but I know that when I was at Burning Man, the first year I went was 2017. Do you know they burned the man? I don't know if you've ever seen this, but it's insane. Let me show you this.
We kind of know that, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You guys are...
We look straight.
Yeah.
But I watch Adam 12 all day.
They don't just burn that shit. They fucking, look at this shit. It's like a full-on explosion.
Wow.
So on the first time when I went to Burning Man, somebody was probably also high on some sort of psychedelic.
Right. Just wandered up to it?
Ran into the fire.
Wow.
And died. Yeah. Sorry, that was a pretty harsh ending to the story.
I remember hearing that story, yeah.
Yeah, I was there. I saw it kind of. I saw the repercussions.
So you're there in 2017, did you say?
Yeah.
Is it getting pretty corporate in the last 7 years?
Nothing. There's more and more girls now that wear, like hot Instagram girls that bring like professional photographers and take photos there, which is not the spirit of Burning Man. It's truly like to be disconnected. Why I go is because I have no internet, no social media, nothing. I just fully disconnect and I come back to it feels like the only vacation I take, And
how long are you there for?
I was there for a full week.
Where do you sleep?
We stayed in an RV this time, which was a little more fancy. Crazy expensive too, like $7,000 for an RV one, right? For we split it with 3 people. But I like the idea. I like staying in the tent better because the thing about Burning Man is you go to the desert. It's cold at night. It went down to the 40s. It's hot as fuck during the day. You have no water, no shower. It's dusty. There's dust storms. But you come back after Burning Man, and the first time I went back to a shower and I slept in an actual bed. I was the happiest kid in the world.
Yeah.
It resets your whole, what you're grateful for in a beautiful way. And it's really grounding. I think everybody should do something extreme, whether it's going on a crazy hike through the Amazon for a week. Because when you come back, because you get stuck in this bubble of fucking luxuries and stuff, I think that's why I like to go also.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah. 2 years at Chino.
He was incarcerated.
Incarcerated? See, beautiful.
So I'm thinking about locking my kids.
Experience, I'm sure. Yeah,
I love a nice shower.
I think I might lock my kids in the backyard for a few days and just see if
that's the thing.
Shit when
Americans should do that more often because I realize Americans raise their kids to become absolute weasels.
Yes.
Because in Germany, I was raised, I was chopping wood with my uncles. I was out in the snow shoveling snow, in the winters in Germany. I truly think that shit makes you tougher. I think in America sometimes we sugarcoat everything and have Disney and all that. I think we need a balance.
We need back to the 12 days where everybody was skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to work. I mean, you got to do shit.
I do think so.
I talk to people nonstop, Well, first off, I think it's women's fault. Because every time I argue with a woman, just go wash your own car. Go get it, take it to the wash. Don't waste your time. I go, it's not I like to wash my car because it makes me feel like I have some purpose and I'm doing something. And they go, you don't need to wash your car. You make $1 million a year. Go get someone else to wash your car. It's a waste of your time. I go, it's not a waste of my time to engage and to do things, to paint a room.
Absolutely.
I remember, I always know kind of when we jump the shark. Like, I always can tell little moments. I was with my ex-wife a million years ago and her dumb friend, and we're standing in this stupid room, and she wanted to turn it into a closet, and they wanted to change the color. And I was like, go down to Home Depot, go get a bucket, get a screen, get an extension, get a roller. I used to be a painter. I'll tell you how to do it. Paint your room. And her friend was standing next to her going, no. And I was like, just fucking paint your own room. And they're like, no, you don't need to paint. And their friend was like filibustering for like her attorney, her paint attorney or something. And I was like, I've explained this all the time to people. I'm not doing it to save money. I'm doing it because you need to engage in life and get involved with
There's
things.
like a dopamine response.
I don't want the government to feed your kids. I don't want breakfast, lunch, and dinner served at the school because... Oh, you hate kids. No. I want parents to cook for their kids. I want involvement. I want engagement. I want mama to cook lunch or make a sandwich. These are super important things that we need to do. And you want everyone to just outsource everything. I was like, don't get a dog walker. Walk your own. Doesn't need, you can afford it. I know. I can afford everything. Just fucking break a sweat. Go get 100%. Involved. Do something. Build a fucking treehouse. Paint your goddamn room. Walk your own fucking dog. Wash your own fucking car. Just get involved, would you?
That's why I think Gen Z is so depressed, by the way.
Oh my God, 100%.
That's the one thing. They have no hardship. And it's beautiful that we have gotten to a point of progress that we have all these things and everything's so easy. You can Uber Eats everything. But I think that's why and social media, obviously.
It's death. It's horrible. But it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's fucking death.
How grounding was it for you probably to have had this career as like a manual labor guy before you got into this industry,
So everything I learned from being a carpenter. Every lesson in life is just on the job site. It's about navigating certain dangers. It's about being efficient but not being flagrant and fast and dangerous, It's all about this sort of safety versus speed kind of thing. It's a bunch of skills. There's no books, there's no manuals, there's old dudes telling you you're doing it wrong, but you not getting butt hurt by it. You going, okay, that guy's pretty gruff and he called me an idiot, but he does know how to put on a difference between a ripping saw and a combination blade or something on a high point saw, and now I know it. He told it to me. Now I'm aware of it. I'm going to do it every time the way he said to do it. I'll tell the younger guys who come up to do it that way because he told me to do it. Everything, there's no feelings. It's just about sort of weight and shear walls and engineering. It's all the most basic parts of life. And when you're done, at the end of every day, you can sort of look back and see what you did, And you go, and you would show up every day and you'd go, look, it's Monday. I want to get this garage framed by Friday. By the time we knock off Friday at 3:30, I want the garage framed. And you'd have this little pace, a metronome in your head, like on Wednesday. Come on, guys, we got to pick it up a little bit. I want to be framed out by Friday. And then they would go, some people go like, how about you just fucking finish framing it on Monday when you come back? I go, no, because I want it done by Friday. I want this thing framed by Friday. And you'd do it, and then you'd come back and you'd go, I want the roof sheathed with the plywood on in the garage by Monday, end of day Monday. We should have this whole thing sheathed, and that's how you worked. And everything was like rewarding, and there's a little bit of sweat, and you're kind of on your feet the whole time, and everyone was working on the same thing, and there was no arguing about anything because all it was it's all the same rules. It's all gravity, engineering, load, and everything else. There was no, well, here's the way I feel about shear wall nailing schedules. It's like, fuck you and your feelings. Just go nail off the shear wall. And you learn everything. And you get grounded. And then you start noticing that everyone there's basically more level-headed than other people outside of that.
It's grounding.
They're grounding, and they think in a linear way. And then when you work around those people, as I've always have, even when I got into showbiz, and then something like COVID comes along, they seem normal, and they're not panicking, and they're not freaking out and yelling at you to put your paper mask on or anything. They're normal. And then all the other people who work in the air conditioning and the cubicles, and they're all freaking out. They don't know dangerous. They can't weigh risk.
If I look at my dad, like I was chopping wood, and there was something so beautiful with my uncles. You know, you chop wood, and you chop down the stuff, and then you load it up, and you build a pile of the wood, and it's so you look back, and it's something that all my uncles are the fucking happiest people you'll ever meet, and they don't have much. My dad doesn't. My dad's a chimney sweeper, but still works with my uncles, like chopping wood and stuff like that. They're so grounded, dude,
and also the little stupid rewards. Seem massive. Like I can remember working off a Wilshire at a burnt out building many years ago, and some of the work was shit work, gorgeous. Earthquake rehab work, and Koreatown was horrible. But I remember it was the day before Christmas, and we were going to work a half day. That was a big. Christmas was the next day, but we were going to knock off at noon. And the boss showed up with like a case of Budweiser. And at noon, we knocked off and just drank Budweiser on the tailgate of this guy's truck. And thinking, this is the best ever. The beer was free. It feels cold in my hand.
Hell yeah.
We don't. Tomorrow's Christmas. We don't have to work tomorrow. But we do have to work the day after Christmas because we're not getting paid for Christmas or this half day. But it was like, if you got a free beer or free sandwich, it was like, oh boy, But now, it was a big deal. Now everyone's calling Grubhub and having bring Taco Bell to the house. And
too
stuff,
accessible.
And it's like fucked up, and everyone's miserable. Everyone's miserable.
All right.
Yes. Sorry.
Look, back to the news.
Oh, the news.
Oh, sorry, the news. Yeah, sorry.
No, that was great. God bless him for that. The working man. Yeah, I hear you, bud. Raygun apologizes to breakdance community for backlash to her Paris Olympic performance.
Oh, wait. Is her name Raygun?
Yes, her name is Rachel Gunn. The Olympic breaker went viral.
So the person that told me the story said Reagan said, and I was like, Reagan? President Reagan? Raygun.
Yeah, she did the wacky little dance at the got 0 points in the Olympics. Yeah, didn't. She's a university lecturer. Her performance consisted of moves that included a kangaroo hop, a backwards roll, and various contortions with her body while lying or crawling on the floor. A classic. I mean, take a look if you haven't seen it. I think we all have.
Everywhere.
Yeah, so she wants she's apologized?
She's apologizing to the breakdance community. I mean, I don't think she should,
I think this was good for the breakdance community, right? I've never, ever paid attention to breakdance.
She overshadowed everything else.
It's also, I like that the judges at the breakdancing competition are all sleeved with tattoos and wearing Kango hats.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, you don't see that in figure skating.
Yeah, literally, Look at the face of the guy to the left, man.
Look, it's not her, it's whoever is the Australian breakdancing coach, right? Who vetted her? Like, how did she get into this?
You know, I kind of researched that. What happened, the way that you get into the Olympics is you have to do these amateur events and have to qualify. She gamed the system where she went to just enough and she was one of the only people representing Australia that year. So she kind of paperworked her way into there, and there you go. That's the results.
Wow.
Kangaroo hop and some wiggles on the ground. It's just a shame. Yeah.
I don't know. We're talking about her. She's going to... See, back in the day, I mean, maybe it's OnlyFans now, but back in the day, this is what Playboy was for. Okay. Playboy would offer her $50,000 to pose in Playboy. That's how it worked. Yeah, Playboy would be like, well, we have our Miss May and Miss June and all that stuff, and then we have our stuff like Women of the Pac-10 or something stuff, which is always good, like thematic stuff. But once in a while, someone would get famous for something, and they'd go, yeah, she's not fat.
Yeah.
Offer $50,000 to get naked, and we'll put her.
She's not famous for being hot, right?
No, but she's good looking enough. Well,
she actually is. Yeah, I never
that's
thought,
how it would work. The Haktua girl would have got a Playboy offer. 100% Haktua girl would get a Playboy offer if Playboy was around today. That's how they would work.
Raygun, for the record, would. I would. 100%.
Yeah.
Not that it means much, but,
she's cute.
100%.
And you know what? I like her moxie.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of respect her also just doing it.
Yes.
Fucking, it's like Sure, I mean, I wouldn't get mad. I think it was hilarious, and I'm not like, dude, going up there at the Olympics, knowing you suck, and fucking just doing a kangaroo hop.
But I don't think she knew she sucked. I think she thought
that's
that it was
even
very
more adorable,
She
dude.
does like lectures on breakdance, and she's really into the culture.
Does.
I thought she lectured on accounting or something.
No, that she is into like hip hop culture, and she teaches in Australia about hip hop culture. So that's how she got into all of this. I don't know. I hope she has some legs. I hope she keeps carrying on into the future with I hope she starts her own breakdancing league.
Yeah.
Yeah, what can you do with that moment though, as a from a marketing standpoint? Like, how can you pivot into something?
OnlyFans. Look, you used to be able to go into Playboy and hammer a check for $75,000.
Yeah,
like they just pay it.
OnlyFans way more than that.
Yeah, well now
and recurring too. So
now it is.
Yeah.
All right, let's take one last break, ma'am. You got some more news?
I do.
All right. Well, we filibustered right through your news.
Yeah, that's all right.
But we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to the rest of the news with Mayhem right after this. O'Reilly Auto Parts. They're in the business of keeping your car on the road. O'Reilly offers friendly, helpful service and the parts and knowledge you'll need for all your maintenance and repairs. That's right. It's not just about maintenance. You got to repair it every once in a while yourself. I've been going to O'Reilly since, knee-high to a bull weevil? I don't know what they say. Grasshopper? I've always gone to O'Reilly. I used to live up in the hills in La Crescenta. I'd go to the one up on Foothill. Still there. Passed it the other day. They've got thousands of parts and accessories in stock, either in-store or online, so you'll never have to worry if you're in a jam. The team at O'Reilly Auto Parts can test your battery for free in or out of your car, which is nice. You don't have to pull it. If it needs to be replaced, they'll help you find the right battery for your vehicle. Need your windshield wipers replaced, brake light fixed, quick service, they'll help you find the right part or point you to the nearest local repair shop for help as well. Whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you'll find the team at O'Reilly knowledgeable, helpful, and best of all, friendly. So the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts are your one-stop shop for all things auto, do-it-yourself, and you can find what you need in the store or online. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. Hims Hair. Men, the only thing worse than losing your hair is waiting for forever for it to grow back. Hims. That's right. You know that company. Start seeing hair come back in as little as 3 to 6 months. Hims provides a range of doctor-trusted hair loss treatments, chewable, oral, spray, serum. They got all the above, and all from the comfort of your own couch. Simple, 100% online process. Just answer a few questions, and a medical provider will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed treatment, it's sent directly to your door. So, again, all done from your home. Shows up right at the door. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/Adam. Hims, HIMS.com/Adam. HIMS.com/Adam for your personalized hair loss treatment. And you'll get a lot of options at hims.com/Adam. Right, Dawson?
Results vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Ace man, Jeff from Phoenix. Been a fan for a long time. I listen every day. Anyway, I had an altercation with a angry blue-haired scissor dancer the other day. I work at a body shop, and she thought it was her duty to school me on how environmentally conscious Subaru is. And then I told her, hey, while the right hand is planting trees and painting rainbows, the left hand's building drones and attack helicopters. She looked it up and had no retort. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Yeah, I've been yelling about this for a long time, which is sort of the time we're living in. And I don't want to sound preachy, and it's not necessarily a right or left thing, although it's more of a left thing than it is a right thing. But what I'm saying is car commercials used to just talk about warranties and rust proofing and horsepower and torque and how much load that truck could tow and all that kind of stuff. Now it's Subaru. They're just talking about made with love. It's all good vibes, all puppies, it's all lesbians, and it's all vibes. And people go like, well, what's wrong with that? And I go, well, nothing's wrong with Subaru being made with love, but Subaru also makes helicopters for the Japanese army and drones that kill people. You know what I mean? That's what Subaru does. Subaru, Honda doesn't just make mopeds. They make fucking everything, you know? And when you hear about a company, a big company, multinational something, Toyota or something, it's not, they don't just make Priuses. They make shit, but they make shit they don't want you to know they make. Yeah. And that's for killing people. But they do want you to think they make wagons for lesbians and they're made with pixie dust in love. Yeah, and all I'm saying to everyone, just keep your eyes open because there's a reason why they want you to. They're jingling the keys over here, going made with love over here, making helicopters and smoking the enemy over there.
Two-faced, right?
So just know what you're getting. It's all Ellen dancing. Ellen dances at the beginning of the show. Okay, she's very joyous. She's very joyous. Kamala Harris laughs and laughs and laughs and laughs. She's the most joyous person in the world. Something like 92 out of the 96 staffers she had have quit because they didn't like the environment.
Damn.
Right. So is she this person? Which I don't mind.
Oh damn. Okay, that's.
And there's Bill Cosby doing a little dance too. I don't mind her being bitchy when she gets the door closes. But I'm just saying, understand why she's laughing so hard. Yeah. That's all.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all. Sorry.
That's all right. Here's another big company. Amazon denies device bias after Alexa gives users reasons to vote for Harris and not Trump.
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon.
Did you hear that one?
No.
It's insisted that electronic devices are not programmed to have political bias after its virtual assistant, Alexa, gave users reasons to vote for Kamala Harris and not Donald Trump.
Well, we just got to play I'm assuming we have the. Oh, we don't.
Do you have Alexa
that's a
here?
weird one not to have a clip for because it's all over the internet. You got to hear it.
Yeah, video.
So wait, you ask Alexa, give me reasons to vote for
They shared it on
Harris?
social media, people asking gadgets with Amazon's Alexa technology installed, why should I vote for Donald Trump and why should I vote for Kamala Harris? In response to the question about the Republican presidential candidate.
I think I'm going to step on you because I think we'll just play it. But Joe, we got to have that tape because that thing's making the rounds. There's a couple versions of it, but I think we'll pull up.
But that's the AI thing in general, right? I think a lot of AI companies have there's a bias.
Well,
with a lot of even ChatGPT.
It's most likely.
Let me.
Because it's based on the internet.
The first image you showed was the one I saw on the internet.
Alexa, why
Okay. All right.
should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a strong candidate with a proven track record of accomplishment. As the first female vice president, Harris has already broken down a major gender barrier, and her career in politics has been characterized by a commitment to progressive ideals and a focus on helping disenfranchised communities.
In 1968, her grandmother in Bangladesh took a bullhorn out and started schooling everybody on reproductive freedom.
That is crazy.
And now, okay, so here's where I'm at with all this stuff that they say doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I am fine with a bias.
Sure.
I am fine if you have a barber shop and you want to put in the sign in the window that says vote Harris, then put it in your window, put it on your lawn, put on your bumper sticker.
Yeah.
Say who you are. What's been going on in this country, whether it's the election or Hunter Biden's laptop or anything Joe Biden and or all things COVID, is they've been doing all of this to everyone and saying they're not doing anything to anyone. So they've been shadow banning people. They've been canceling content. They've been doing everything. And the government's been telling big tech what to do with COVID and where to land. And then everyone's going, you're nuts for bringing this up. That's the part. It's the part, I think the part. Most women, when you cheat on them, this happened to me a billion times.
Right, guys?
Back me up, man. When you cheat on a woman, at the end, when they get you, they always go, the thing that pissed me off the most is that you lied for a year. You made me think I was nuts for saying this for a year of going, you are nuts, you're paranoid, or whatever. That's what they get pissed about.
Yeah.
The cheating is not even as bad. Like if you said, I made a mistake, I was on the road. I got too much LSD. I was drinking out of the bottom of the vial. Someone lit a giant wicker man, and I've got a hard on, and this photographer tried to blow me, and I was confused, and I didn't know what to do. So I ended up fucking this chick. They could accept that. It's calling them nuts for a year, and then them finding out, that's what drives the thing. And that was the whole thing with me and all this. Hey, Silicon Valley, you guys are outside of San Francisco. You guys think a certain way. You're progressive people. That's your mindset. That's who you vote for. Just fucking say it. Just say all the news anchors that are doing the same thing on whatever network, just go, this is who I am.
So Bezos is gaslighting us? That's what you're saying?
Yes. So
right.
This is what, now what they do is they go, with all the stuff, was all the way through COVID, everything's a glitch.
Yeah.
Nothing is intentional.
Sure.
It's just a glitch in the system. And my answer to that is always the same answer, which is, I'm getting shortchanged from the cash register at the store. And you're telling me the cash register's broken. But how come I'm always getting shortchanged if it's broken? If it's broken, I should get more. And then less. And then more. Not always one direction.
Yeah.
So they're glitches all the time, but their glitches only go one direction. It's always, another glitch. Yeah, who benefited? The Democrats. Yeah. That's all their glitches are always that. And everyone who got pulled down and taken off, or the Hunter Biden laptop story that got taken down, it's always like, we made a mistake. We didn't. They were told, it's always, but it's only one direction, and that's how you know they're full of shit. So just keep that in mind.
So you're thinking they should jam some false flags in there every once in a while, go the other way, to make it even.
Because this is not.
Yeah, you're right.
But they also must know that this might be uncovered, because this is now bad for the Democrats. Like things like that coming out, it's just like.
I have a stupidity probably answer to this. That it might just be that they train it on left-wing sites.
That's what I was thinking. Because AI, that's what I heard. Yeah,
because it's AI. So if you train it on Reddit, you're not going to get a whole hell of a lot of Trump supporters.
Yeah, listen, it's if you had a kid and you're hardcore vegan, and you had a kid, eventually the kid be 9 and he'd say meat is murder.
Yep.
And you go, where'd you get that shit? It's like, well, I was raised by this guy who thinks that. You know what I mean? So if you are being trained by a person who thinks a certain way, then that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Even if they're not doing it on purpose to train you in there.
That's good, is to play devil's advocate, like for sure. I mean, AI models, you train them on the internet, and there's been a lot of issues with AI models where you, especially Google, where they train it on Reddit, and it just gives you misinformation, because Reddit is not. I mean,
it's a lot of jokes.
Reddit's not facts,
and
right?
AI doesn't get sarcasm or anything like that.
For medical stuff, like somebody was saying on Reddit, like, what do you do when you have some sort of illness? And then Reddit said, like, some dude wrote, like, okay, you should roll in the dust and drink virgin blood or some shit like that, and that showed up then on Google, because some people had like. Made that popular on Reddit.
Reddit seems like the worst place to learn anything. It is the nastiest place in the world.
People are just also the most,
the worst.
Yeah.
All right, you got another one?
All black outfits, hoodies, Crocs, cell phones, and mirrors. Some students are returning to school with new bans in effect. It's a new school year, and with the new school year comes new rules. There's cell phone bans, dress code changes, and in some cases banning hoodies and all black clothing. Even the removal of mirrors from school bathrooms are among the changes schools across America are making in the name of safety and better student engagement.
Mirrors?
Yeah, because kids apparently are meeting up in the bathroom, hanging out around the mirror. I don't know. It's I haven't been to high school in a while.
You know, it's a sign.
Gen Alpha.
You know, it's a sign that you're in a really shitty bathroom when they don't have a mirror because people punch it too much or
that's what I thought. I thought because they were like,
it's like it can't support actual mirrored glass, but they'll have a polished sheet metal, and you can kind of look at yourself. It's probably when you're super high at Burning Man. That's probably that's what you look like, and it's like a wavy piece of sheet metal. It's like it's really like looking into a pot of water and trying to see your own reflection, but it's like. When you walk into a bathroom that can't support glass, you're like, oh, man, this is a bad neighborhood.
Berlin nightclub with like
this is a shitty club I'm in. Yeah. All right. And did you say no Crocs?
Yeah, no Crocs. They're stopping kids from wearing all black outfits for some reason. It's just a new academic year. And
I am for school uniforms. I am.
Okay.
And the reason I'm for school uniforms is people act accordingly. Like when they're dressed a certain way,
it changes the way
they do much less fighting and much less the behavior. Number one. Also, there's always this discussion about the haves and the have-nots, and she can afford the designer jeans, and you got your fucking JCPenney jeans or your Wranglers or something. It eliminates all that. Everyone just dresses the same.
Yeah.
You all go here, and we can't pick out the rich kids. I mean, you got dropped off in a Bentley, maybe. Yeah. Maybe that's a tell. I took the fucking bus, but okay. But it's statistically less fighting, less trouble, less everything. Probably grades tick up a little, and it eliminates the whole part where your daddy's a millionaire and my daddy, works at the sanitation plant.
Sure. It changes so much. Like when you put on, I bought these new like shoes and like new Adidas like fucking gear. When I went for a run, I ran like 10% faster, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because you kind of adjust to, when you put on a suit, you feel like, you sit a little more upright. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's just,
And you tend to engage in less shit behavior.
Yeah.
That's what my theory is. Everyone's walking around in sweatpants and in T-shirts, and they're fucking throwing down at airports now. They wouldn't do that at a ballpark when you were dressed up with a top hat.
So the counter argument would just be there's no sense of self-expression, right?
Yeah, but I would kind of argue that I don't want that at that age.
Sure.
Like, I don't want that, football teams, any athletic team, you wear a uniform, you know what I mean? Because we don't want individuals. We want this, you know what I mean? And like, what we want is like students. Students all sort of show up at the same time, leave at the same time. It's regimented. Learn the same shit. Act mannerly, and then at some point you graduate and you can let your freak flag fly.
Because if people express themselves, that also lessens the sense of unity in the group.
I would also argue. Yeah, I agree. I would argue that weirdly, a uniform gives you more leeway to express yourself.
Okay.
Now, you're intrigued.
I'm intrigued.
You're sitting there and you're going, well, this guy's easy on the eyes, but his ideas are pretty strong too.
He's so hot, but he knows how to talk like.
No, but here's what I never had this thought, but here it goes. But you're gonna do. But now, you're used to soccer and not American football.
Oh yeah, soccer's all I watch my whole life. I'm getting into American sports now a little bit.
I will explain this. In American football, that's a football uniform, and every team that Deion Sanders, maybe you know the name,
heard of him,
popular coach, Colorado now. Well, every team he played on had a uniform, but you could still tell who Deion was because he did his own thing on his own uniform.
Oh, really?
So in a way, it's like once in a while you'll see the you see the UPS or I'm trying to think delivery service. What can Brown do for you? You'll see that guy. Is that UPS? Yeah, you see the UPS guy, and some guys are just wearing the shirt and the shorts on it. Some guys got sweatbands, sleeves like rolled up, shirts tucked in tight.
The subtlety.
Sanitary socks pulled up to their knee, and you're like, oh, that guy's got his own thing, the cool guy. And in football, there's like the schlubby lineman guys, just big dudes with their shirts untucked. And then there's the guys with the towels hanging out and tucked in front. They got 3 sweatbands on. They got this weird sweatband up top that makes their bicep look bigger. Like they got a chain hanging out. Like Deion Sanders was doing a uniform inside of a uniform, inside the uniform, and he stood out even more than if everyone just wore their own uniform.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point, for sure.
The subtlety.
Yeah.
The subtlety of it, yeah. And I reread this because it said, I was wondering about all black outfit. It looks like they're trying to outlaw goth. That's
goth.
Really what it appears.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yes. Because, they're saying that
of course,
some teacher
noticed
the students are dressing with all black when they're depressed or stressed.
But they're depressed because
instead of dealing with that, they're making them not dress.
Yeah,
black.
they should make them work, chop wood, or work as a carpenter, so they're not depressed. They don't have to work off shit, and then they can.
Listen, look, I used to do a show called Love Line, a radio show, a million years ago. I would talk to these fucked up kids every night, and they would always go, I'm 15, I'm depressed, and whatever. And then they would go, the doctor wants to put me on Prozac or put him on whatever. Thing, And I would say, this is 1995. I would say, start hiking, start listening to classical music. Go hit the trail, put on the earbuds, listen to classical music, do it for 2 weeks, and then tell me if you still need the Prozac or whatever. Don't start taking the pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Go break a sweat.
Yeah.
Go hit the trail. Get into nature and listen to classical music. I would say it every time. Everyone looked at me cross-eyed. So I was like, what the fuck do you know? You don't know any shit. You're from North Hollywood. You don't know anything. Now every study that comes out that says that's much better than whatever the Prozac or whatever the serotonin reuptake inhibitors are is much better breaking a sweat, getting with nature, putting the fucking earbuds in, listening to classical, and hitting the trail.
Because it's natural serotonin and all that when you do that. That's in Germany. I never took that. Like, we don't take Advil. We don't take a lot of, we don't get prescribed things easily. We don't take all the medication. We take a walk. We march it off. Yeah, we just take a little march and,
march it off.
Get that one up, yeah.
Everybody here under 40 is on 3 medications.
Yeah. Yeah.
Normal people, healthy people, fit people, everyone's just fucking on everything. It's nuts. It's statistically insane.
Yeah.
It's totally unnecessary.
Well, it's pharma. It's money,
Yeah, I get it, but it's like break a sweat, do the cold dunk, jump in the ocean every once in a while, jump in a lake every once in a while, go build a tree house, go to Burning Man, OD at Burning Man, run into that giant wicker burning.
But even psychedelics, dude, I've had so many beneficial, like my friend, he was struggling with depression, suicidal, very tough time. I helped him through COVID with that, and nothing helped him. All the stuff his insurance was paying for was the medication that makes him addicted. None of the stuff that actually helps him until he tried psychedelics, some of that, and that now saved his life and helped him. But not covered by insurance
I hear
at all.
that story now more often than you hear the story of somebody jumping through the Burning Man.
Yeah.
You hear that story.
Yeah,
that people have cured themselves with psychedelics. I don't know.
I'll tell you there's another big part of this that no one talks about. And the reasons, number 187, everyone thinks I'm a douche, is because way too many people announce, I have anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not feeling, my stomach hurts. I have a migraine and my stomach hurts and I have anxiety. I go, just get up and fucking hit the trail with you. And they go, what are you saying? It's your stomach hurts. I go, your stomach hurts all day, every day. Everyone's stomach hurts. Yes. Everyone's head hurts. Everyone has anxiety. Everyone feels threatened. Everyone feels unsafe. This is an unsafe environment. Just get your fucking ass up and get the fuck to work. Just go to work. You'll feel much better about yourself. They go, well, I feel like there may be something coming on, and I have seasonal anxiety and general anxiety and dustings of anxiety, and my stomach hurts because I can't eat dairy and I can't eat wheat, and if I can't eat beef and I don't digest the lactose and I got a headache, I'm like, just fucking go out and break a sweat. Would you just go do something? Go fix your roof. Would you? You'll be fine. Go out to the garage and rebuild the carburetor in your old truck. Just do that. You won't be thinking about what you have.
Complain and say you have anxiety.
I know, and what I'm telling everybody, I always go, you're fine. You're fine. Just go out there. And everyone goes, look, what are you, some kind of asshole? I'll go, no, just you're hurting them by indulging.
No, for sure.
Just get up, get moving, break a sweat.
You also manifest. If you say, I'm depressed, that's almost like a cop-out of like, oh, I'm that. I am. You identify with depression. You identify with anxiety. But I think it's important.
Yes, don't announce you have anxiety all the time.
But what I think is important, if you have a feeling like something's bothering you, you feel rejected for some reason, to voice that.
Yeah.
And to voice that, because once you say it and you release that, that's good. But I see a lot of people are in this victim mentality.
Oh my God!
Saying you have this and you have.
Well,
that.
I'm depressed and have anxiety that I'm not doing my job.
All right, one more story, and then we're chopping wood.
Yeah, I'm chopping wood right now.
We're getting off this.
I wonder what you say about this, Adam. Bill would mandate speed warning tech in new cars, heads to Governor Gavin Newsom's desk.
Yeah, this is L.A. and California.
Yeah, the Senate Bill 961, which would mandate speed warning technology in cars, is heading to California Governor Gavin Newsom's desk. Speed-related traffic deaths are on the rise, and California and State Senator Scott Wiener hopes his bill will change that.
No.
Wow, perfect.
This would not fly in the Autobahn.
That's what I was saying. It's very unrelatable. So wait, there's speed warnings in the car, in your personal car?
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what California does, I think I was just watching, Joe, did we play that Nancy Pelosi, Bill Maher thing? We just played the very beginning of it, but there's a part of that where Bill Maher is like, you want to give illegal aliens $150,000 down for housing? And she goes, California always leads. We always lead. And it's like, no, we're not leading. We are drunk and wandering off away from the camp into the wilderness to be fucking eaten by Kodiak bear. And everyone else at the camp goes, look at those dumb fucks. That guy's going to get eaten by a bear. You understand, other states make fun of us. They don't look at us as leading anymore. They used to look at us like, oh, they had bell-bottom jeans and the mamas and the papas. Yep. Wow, that's what we should do. And art and cinema and stuff. Now we just look like batshit crazy fucksticks who are ruining California, and everyone stands back and laughs. We don't lead anymore. It's always like, it used to be we would do something in California and it would follow in the rest of the states at some point. Now everyone just laughs and goes, I'm moving to fucking Florida, you idiots. And this is going to be another one of those things where we constantly talk about freedom. Like, people come to California to be free, and we have more regulations than any other state.
Yeah.
Do we have that? Did you find that clip, by the way? That's pretty good.
The California lawmakers just passed a law. It hasn't been signed by Governor Newsom, but giving government assistance to undocumented immigrants to buy houses. Mm-hmm. That's kind of a different place than the Democratic Party used to be on immigration, is it not? I'm not going to say that's what the country's going to do, but that's certainly where California is.
Well, let me just say, immigration had always been a bipartisan issue. I refer you to
But not free houses.
Well, that's not free housing. It's the American dream being available to more people. But understand this about immigration. The best speech on immigration was by President Ronald Reagan. This is the last speech I will make as President of the United States.
I remember him talking about free housing.
I want to communicate a message to the country I love. And he talked about the Statue of Liberty and the beacon of hope it is to the world. And what America was preeminent in the world because our door was always open. And we will cease to be preeminent when we shut the door. Now, I don't do justice to the great communicator. Google it. It's a fabulous speech. And George Herbert Walker Bush continued in that respect for the diversity of America and the rest. California's always in the lead. Maybe others will follow that lead, but that's up to those states.
No, they don't want a bunch of illegals.
We're blessed here with beautiful diversity.
I'm going to California sneak back into this motherfucker.
California's always in the lead. I know. She's thinking 1974. She's not thinking 2024. We're now laughing stock of the country and possibly the world. So no one's going to follow.
I mean, Germany still have I talked to a guy, because I just did a show in San Francisco and I'd never really been there. I'd only been to the waterfront, but I went to the Tenderloin district. Mm-hmm. Like, what the actual... It's the only place where dogs step in human poop. That's the show guy. Because I was like, this is crazy, because like people have this image. Like, I have people from Germany come to my shows a lot, and they come and they go, how is this? Because California is arguably the most idolized state.
It is awesome here, but yeah, it is getting to the
What
point.
I will say, California, driving back from Burning Man, how beautiful the nature is here. Like we drove back through like some national parks and stopped there at a river, jumped into a lake. That was beautiful. But the cities, wild.
They're fucked up, and
Wild.
and we don't need any more rules. We're good in the rules department here, people. You're causing more people to move to Texas, and Florida, and Nashville, and Nevada because they don't like the heavy hand of government all fucking day in every aspect of their life. All right, I'm going to be in Boise, Idaho at the Egyptian Theater doing stand-up tomorrow if you want to come out. It's going to sell out, but I think there's a couple of tickets left. And then Lynn Laughs in Albany, Oregon. That's almost sold out too, but that'll be the following day. That'll be on Saturday, so you can go check that. Mario, where do we go? We go to see the podcast and listen to the podcast, Uncensored with Mario. And I'm going to spell his last name, Adrion.
Yes, you got it.
And the comedy there as well. Boston, Nashville, Chicago.
Yeah.
Coming up. Mayhem.
Yeah.
I ordered some of that Manuka honey.
Awesome.
That you're making.
Great.
So I'll give you
and I'm in Lafayette, New Jersey on Sunday.
Doing what?
Signing autographs, like old fight stuff, and high-fiving everybody. It'll be a
good
time.
All right. Do that. And where in Lafayette?
At Pandora's Box Collectibles.
There you go. So until next time, I'm Carolla. For Jason and Mario saying, mahalo.